Not on. There you go. Hey guys, Sean here. And welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix qualifying watch-along, a title-deciding weekend, of course. You're probably sick of hearing that. But yes, we are here for qualifying for Abu Dhabi. Hope you're all well. Early heads. Well, first of all, apologies for last weekend not being able to go live. I'm also going to say right now, still not 100%. So if I start spluttering all over the microphone, I do apologise. But I'll survive, I'm sure. We'll live. We'll manage. We'll manage through it all. I'll do some shout-outs in just a moment to get your hellos in chat. But yeah, lots to look forward to this weekend. Very excited for this one. A little bit anxious as well. I don't know how I'm going to feel in the morning, but I can't imagine how those drivers are coping with all of this, quite frankly. It's been I can't imagine. Can you imagine the stress? Listening to Nico Rosberg's stories about 2016 have been really, really interesting as well. Frosties on the morning of the Grand Prix, all he could eat for the first time in 15 years, and the stresses of it. And yeah, I don't think many drivers will be enjoying this one in the top three, but I think we as fans can very much look forward to, hopefully, a really, really good weekend. I'll run through the FP3 times in just a moment as well. But yeah, we're ready for this one. I'm looking forward to quali. I always look forward to quali, but yeah, a little bit like me. I'll have my moan right off the bat. If you follow me on Blue Sky, you'll know what I'm going to say, but this track is shite. We should be at Interlagos for this finale. Imagine this finale in Brazil. Wow, what a weekend that would be. So yeah, it looks like qualifying is going to be critical. They keep talking about it on Sky, so if you get a Lando Norris pole position, you could probably take that to the bank for the title tomorrow unless something really dramatic happens, because if that F2 sprint is anything to go by, it doesn't bode well for tomorrow. So sorry for the negative start there, but that's kind of how I felt watching the sprint today. It's going to be bad. But then, as Fudder said, it could be worse. Imagine the finale was Qatar. Last weekend felt like a waste of everyone's time, really, particularly Saturday. But anyway, hey to Rivo, ready for action. Hey to Pascal, who's in Abu Dhabi this weekend. Says, how's everybody doing? Hope you are well. Struggling through, mate, but I'll live. But I hope you're having a great weekend in Abu Dhabi. I can imagine there's quite an atmosphere there, an emotional weekend as well with Sauber leaving, as people keep pointing out again. So they might be back. Peter Sauber dressed in his best at the back of the Sauber garage, ready to rescue his team again in the future, maybe. We'll see. Hey, Michael says, good morning, Sean, in chat. Hey to Kevin. Hey to Alfie. Hoping everybody is doing well. Hey to Shadow Macca. That's Jack, of course. Says, worked Christmas night out last night. Means your soothing tones are comforting me through my anxiety today, Sean. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't have a work Christmas do. It's just me sat here in a party hat, basically. Let's not get into that. Ewan says, will this be Lewis Hamilton's last Grand Prix? I don't think so, Ewan. I think he'll be back. He said he'll be back and he's ready for next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if next year's his final season. I mean, if Ferrari are anywhere near as bad as they've been at times this year or for much of this year, then why would he come back for 27 to do it all again? So I think he'll see out his contract, which is, I think, is 2+1, so he could do 27 if he wanted to. There's an option there, if I remember that correctly. I might be wrong, but yeah, I think he'll be back for next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does a runner after that. Hey Fud says, listening to Nico Rosberg, interesting, does not compute. It was just that insight you don't get very often. I said to Stuart, or Stuart said to me pre-stream, he was saying that, the kind of thing you can't admit in the heat of battle. he couldn't admit to the media in 2016, I was really nervous, so I just ate Frosties today. Hey Tim, hey to Adrian, says greetings from the land of Oz. Hey to Connell as well. Yeah. Sam says Lando pole, George second, Oscar third, and Max fourth. That's my prediction. And hey, I said hey to Alfie, and I think I said hi to Sam as well. So, yeah, we can all come to you for a work to do, says Alfie. That is both a lovely and terrifying prospect. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's get sharing the stream as well, please. Don't make me laugh. Oh, we'll be coughing for hours. Yeah, get sharing the stream as well while I just run through the FP3 result. That'd be greatly appreciated. They're just talking on Sky now about Mercedes, Ferraris, the red cars. That's what I'm trying to say. Terrible season. It's not been the best, has it? But hey, that car has, according to John Elkann, been getting better this year. Anyone with a pair of eyes will tell him otherwise. George Russell was a surprise, by the way, this morning when he topped FP3. 4 thousandths of a second clear of Lando Norris. I said on Thursday that Mercedes could be the curveball this weekend. Let's see what he can do. The temperatures, of course, dropping as well as both the qualifying session and the Grand Prix go on. So that might favour Mercedes quite a bit. Max Verstappen in third place and Fernando Alonso the surprise in fourth. But as to steal Simon Lazenby's words or Martin Brundle's words just before I went live there, they tend to flatter, don't they, on a Friday, Aston Martin. So we'll see if he can carry that into, or in practice, sorry, see if he can carry that into qualifying. Piastri only P5, bit of a weird weekend. Lost FP1, of course, to Pato O'Ward. That will have been decided pre-season, so no conspiracy there, as some people on Twitter, the idiots, seem to think. Esteban Ocon P6. Ollie Bearman, who says he can't understand why the car is so good this weekend for Haas, is in P7. 8th for Leclerc. 9th for Kimi and Antonelli. Lots of love for Antonelli this weekend, please. Alex Albon P10. Gabriel Bortoletto 11th. Sainz 12th and Hulkenberg 13th. Stroll 14th. Lawson 15th. Isack Hadjar, Red Bull bound, of course, 16th. Pierre Gasly 17th. Lewis Hamilton 18th. But he crashed at turn 9. A big enough crash, but he spun and went into the wall. I think I saw some analysis that there might have been a suspension failure, but then I saw some other analysis from Anthony Davis that says he just made a mistake. So, whatever. 19th is Colapinto and 20th Yuki Tsunoda, who, quite a hairy moment with Lando Norris. Again, something I discussed with Stuart pre-stream. Could you imagine if Tsunoda had caused an accident with Norris and Norris missed qualifying? Imagine the conspiracies all winter. Negativity. We love this sport, really. But yeah, Owasa, that's the one. So Red Bull Tsunoda got a 10k fine for the impeding, says Fudd. So, and this is, if you're a long time viewer of the F1 words, you'll know I don't always agree with Crofty. It is baffling to me that Aston Martin got, was it $25,000 fine or euro fine for Alonso and Stroll missing a fan event, and yet Tsunoda, which was, dangerously dawdling in the middle of the track, gets 10k. I mean, come on, guys. That's ridiculous, isn't it? It really, really is. But there you go. Hi, I'm David Croft. Yes, yeah. I'll never forget that, Jack. That's how I introduce him all the time. I introduce myself like that now as David Croft. Why not? Merck also got the save 5 for crashing into Tsunoda. So this is what I mean. Unsafe release in the pit lane where people could be injured. What could have been a massive airplane crash. Half what you get for missing a fan event. I'm not suggesting grid penalties, but if missing a fan event is 20,000, then that for Tsunoda is surely more than that. And an unsafe release is surely more than that, but, whatever. It's, yeah. I'm hoping for a weekend where we don't have to criticise the FIA at all. Wouldn't that be nice, eh? I will say as well, don't forget, all being well, I'll be live with Stuart post-race tomorrow as well. We're doing the race watch-along here on Formula Sean because, well, why not? And then we'll be live with the race reaction as well with Stuart. But I will say, I'm not well. He's not well, so it might just be an hour and a half, 2 hours of us coughing into microphones. So, but hey, it's a race reaction. You'll still enjoy it. I'll do predictions shortly, Sam. Don't worry, mate. We'll get to those in about. I do about 10 to, don't I? It's about 7 minutes. We'll get to them. No worries about that. Sorry. Williams got a 5k fine for Albon's unsafe release. Clearly, they do have discretion, says Fudd. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, it's. I don't know. Yeah, grid penalty for a spin in the pit lane. I don't get the consistency there. I don't understand why we have such a discrepancy between penalties. A safety issue should be a harder financial penalty than not turning up to take some selfies with fans. It just, yeah. But I have quite a few controversial takes this weekend. I've already noticed that one. They keep cropping up when I'm sat here like I'm a right grumpy old man. I think that's what the problem is. Just sitting like, oh, boo, rose-tinted spectacles, look back in time. So I've put some Christmas decorations up because, yeah, to try and make it feel a bit festive, but yeah. Boy Sky is going on and on about Lewis, says Kevin. Yeah, the thing is, though, I'll sort of defend them a little bit here, Kevin, because Ferrari have had a bad season. Rose tinsel spectacles, very good, Fudd, very good. Don't make me laugh, please. But no, I'll kind of give them a bit of a slack, cut them a bit of slack here, because when you compare Leclerc's season to Hamilton's season, Hamilton's has been atrocious. The highlight was winning the sprint in China, which was round 2 of the season, something like that. So right at the start of the year, no podium since, has been an absolute disaster, but Charles Leclerc has still managed to drag that car to 7 podiums this year. has still managed to find some really good form, some really good performances. That pole in Hungary, I mean, where did that come from? An incredible lap from Charles Leclerc. So when you talk about the bad season for Ferrari, I think you're naturally going to talk more about Lewis Hamilton than Charles Leclerc, because Leclerc has, I think, considering the car he's got and the state the team's in, I think he's delivered all he could for the team this year. So yeah, I will defend him a little bit on that one. I also just realised, just out of nowhere then, I still look at the chat when I'm talking to you when I could look at the camera, because that's where you all are now. Well, you're not in the camera, but you know what I mean. God, I hope this quality sets up a good grid. Sean, you're okay to link me, buy me a coffee. I need to give you your Christmas present, says Connell. Yeah, I certainly can. Bear with me. I've got, look, multitasking. Christ, that was bright. Multitasking is not my thing. Life generally is not my thing these days, but yeah, but thank you for your... Oh, it's Joe. You see, you come up as Connell for some reason on here, so I don't really know why they keep messing, because 1 week you'll all have your normal names. There you go, mate. 1 week you'll all have your normal names, and then another week you'll all have your handles, and I'm not sure what the reason is for it on the old YouTubes. There's probably a good reason for it. But yeah, anything you want me to talk about before we get on to qualifying, not practice? I'm happy to give some opinions, give you my thoughts on whatever you want me to have some thoughts on, and then we'll do some predictions to go from there. Only just joined. Sorry if you answered this. What happened with Planet Sport? I thought you said all was fine. I'm very confused, says Corner Wookie. I try to remember what your real name is now, Corner Wookie. I know the avatar, and I'm like, it's your real name, but I'll call you Corner Wookie. Nothing. I mean, I put a video out a few weeks ago on this channel just sort of explaining a little bit. There's not really anything dramatic or exciting to tell you, but they bought the channel last August, officially September. Then they decided mid-September this year to let me go. But the plan was initially let me go and effectively delete the channel. And I, as you can imagine, in fact, let's not lie, I was pretty pissed off at that idea. I was not happy at all. In fact, I had a little bit of a strop about it. So we came to a sort of hybrid arrangement where I'll keep it alive by posting whatever I want, whenever I want, and how much that I want, and I'll continue in some sort of freelance capacity, basically. So I don't work for them anymore, but I still work with them, if that makes sense. But I very rarely hear from anybody from there, so... Which is why I started Formula Sean, because although I could keep uploading to the F1 word loads and loads and loads and try and turn that around, I don't know for sure in a year's time that the rug won't be pulled from underneath me again, so I have to prepare for the future. So, yeah, I agree, Kevin. I agree. Which is why the race watch-along is on here tomorrow, not over on the F1 word. So I will still upload over there. I don't know what next year looks like, to be honest. I'm kind of trying not to stress about it too much. What happens, happens. Over here, frankly, content-wise, it'll all happen organically. It'll be very much the F1 word, but under a new name and over here, and that'll be it. So I wouldn't expect anything revolutionary over here, but I think this makes more sense long term. But I still want to keep the F1 word alive, because, as I'm sure you can appreciate, that's 8 years worth of hard bloody work. A hell of a lot of work went into that. I still don't know how it worked, but it did work, and so I'm quite proud of that, and I'm always going to be proud of that. So I don't want it to just disappear. But if I decided, for example, tomorrow to not bother anymore with the F1 word, then that channel would... I don't think they'd actually delete it, but yeah, that's... Yeah. I know you're only joking, Corner Wookie, but the whole sellout thing, it's like, I didn't sell out because I stayed. Selling out, trust me, selling out would have been, thanks for the money, lads, fuck off, I'm off. I stuck around because I was determined to make that the place to be for F1, and we had so many plans for the future, and then... they made that decision, so it was not my call. I'd have been quite happy carrying on. I have big plans for 2026, which will now happen over here, and it's a shame that we couldn't fulfill that. But when we did the agreement last summer, it was, we were talking about 26, 27, 28 before we even got there. So, it was a bit of a shock when it all happened. So yeah, it's a bit of a crap end to the year it's been. So I just, again, I said it in the preview on Thursday on the F1 Word. Thank you for your support this year, over here and over there, because this last couple of months have been really difficult. I have had days where I have been really blasé and couldn't give a shit, and then other days when I've been absolutely raging about it. So having you guys to keep me sane, including you, Kevin, I'll be nice, it has really helped. So thank you very much for all of that. I appreciate that. So great time for reset, Sean, a new channel. There'll be lots of things to talk about with the new regs. Best of luck with it. Thank you, Rivo. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. New regs, fresh start. I don't think this will ever get to 100,000 subscribers, but then I didn't think the other one would. So we'll see how we go. But if we can get it monetized and it can become a full-time thing, I'll do what I want to. But it's going to be very much Sean over here. There's not going to be quite so much focus on news roundups and shit like that. It's going to be me being me, which is going to be sarcasm, which is sarcasm, which is going to piss a lot of people off, because sarcasm is a delicious form of wit and all of that business. I'll piss people off with my opinions, and I swear a lot, and I've got a potty mouth, but YouTube are not quite so strict about that now, so my content's not made for kids, so if I swear too much it upsets you, I apologise. I'll always try and avoid dropping the big swear words, but I don't think some of them are too bad, but yeah. I'm chuntering now, but there's a little bit of me that just wants to go at you all, but I'm not going to do that. So eyes forward. Thank you very much, 7-3 Bases. That's the plan. Consistency is key with the posting. Opinion more interesting than news roundups. Exactly. And the thing is as well, this is one of the things very quickly. Then we do predictions, I promise. But consistency, I used to interpret as lots of content. That doesn't, if there's a video every Thursday at 4 p.m, there's going to be a video every Thursday at 4 p.m. That's consistent content. I'm not saying that's all I'll do over here, but that doesn't, that's consistency. Whereas I thought consistency was every day. We had F1 Daily at one point, which was just such a stupid idea. You can't talk about F1 Daily. There's not enough stuff. Come on, Sean. So be more consistent. I will say very quickly, then, while we're on this topic, December will be relatively quiet. There'll be something every week, possibly apart from Christmas week, but that's because this channel wasn't supposed to launch till January, so we're way ahead of where we're aiming to be. So, but from sort of the first full week of January onwards, we'll really ramp things up. So, and again, quality over quantity, which is a mistake, and I'll say it, a mistake we slipped into last year or earlier this year with Planet Sport. Too much content, and not always me. I'm going to round it off with this comment, okay? This is from ages ago. Where is it? I've saved this because it's good. It's from Cynical Ninja. And they said, I've been sub for a long time, and honestly, I'm watching less and less since the big change. If it's not your video, Sean, I'm just not interested in listening to somebody else. I didn't subscribe for them all these years ago, so I very much welcome the second channel. That's why it didn't work. So that's complete honesty. And I will be clear. There's no ill will towards the people I've worked with at Planet Sport. My line manager Mark was fantastic. I loved working with Sam. Elizabeth was amazing. Thomas was brilliant. Everyone I worked with, they were fantastic people to work with, but the higher ups made the decisions they made. So anyway, should we do some predictions? I can sit and chunter about this. Do you know what? We might have to do a stream where I just chunter about everything that's wrong in life over the winter. So, that's it. But anyway, let's get some predictions in then for quali, because we are just a few minutes away. People tuning in for the first time going, I'm not listening to this guy anymore. He's so negative. But it's not been a fun couple of months. So the last weekend I nearly died, basically, because of a man flu. Really bad. I said on Thursday, I was so dramatic last weekend, I don't care. On Thursday, I said, I think Piastri for pole, and then I went with Verstappen for the win. So I'm less confident on Piastri for pole. I just had a feeling he might do a Qatar and just really nail qualifying. And sort of come here and dominate a little bit, but he hasn't. Lando Norris has been fantastic so far. You wouldn't believe he's under pressure, would you? George Russell sneaking in at the end to kind of ruin his chances of being on top for all 3 practice sessions. But I will, for the sake of sticking with my predictions, I will still say Piastri pole, but I'm not confident on that now. Second place, I'm going to go Norris and all McLaren front row, and then I will go Verstappen P3. But I'm hoping Verstappen pole disappears tomorrow, Piastri and Norris run into each other, and Max makes it tight on number 5. But That's nothing against the McLaren boys. I'd love Max to get number 5. The story alone, a lot of people agree with me actually in the comments of the preview that actually the story, the idea of Max nicking this would be huge, and they kind of are secretly rooting for him. So that's my top 3. I'm also going to go with a surprise, or not a surprise Q3. Because I'm not sure it would be that much. Maybe Bortoletto. There you go. I think Haas are looking good. But Bortoletto sneaks into P10 right at the death. The music's kicked in, so we'll just pop the sound on for me. We'll set everything up in just a second. I'll read your predictions super quickly. Norris, Piastri, and Russell for the grid, says Fudd. Our new champion is Lando Norris, says Sam Henderson. Still we rise, says all-wheel dingus. Shorts are good for the algorithm. Yeah, I'll do some. I'm going to plan some shorts for next year, Tim, because I think, as much as I hate doing them, brain rot, the algorithm loves them. It doesn't help with money, but it helps with channel growth. So there you go. If you want to expand the number of videos with other people, it should be you and that other person chatting on a topic like the last one. Thank you, Kevin. You're a genius, mate. What a shame I didn't tell them that several times. Fudd, both Ferraris in the top 10 along with the one Haas and one Sauber. Everything is honestly fine. I sound really bitchy today. I'm sorry. Wow, look at that. This was backdrop production value, while the YouTube just for that effort. Exactly. I mean, look at that. That tinsel was £1. The effort do you know how much that is now to me? That's worth millions. Russell Paul says Rivo. Pascal says Russell, Verstappen, Norris in the final Q3 appearance for Sauber. Norris, Russell, Verstappen for Tim. I would be happy for Max to win, but he deserves to win it on the road rather than with a collision. True, that's fair. So F1 question, what is actually going on with McLaren's team orders? We'll talk about that probably tomorrow in our corner. We'll get there. Piastri, Russell, Verstappen, says Adrian. One of the 3 contenders won't qualify top 5. Connell says Norris, Verstappen, Russell, Piastri. Hamilton makes Q3 in my stupid take. Will Hadjar break the RB second car curse? We'll talk about that at some point, I promise. We still haven't seen any of your cars behind you. We'll do it at some point, Kevin, don't worry. But let's get this settled then for the watch along. So obviously, you all know this, but I'm going to repeat it again anyway. No on-track footage for obvious copyright reasons. We're not allowed to show the footage because I don't own the rights. So, but thank you to the awesome folks over at Multiviewer for F1 for allowing us to use allowing me to use a live timing this season. Really appreciate that support. I'll be hopefully working with them next year for testing and other things as well. So thank you very much to those guys for their support this year. Link in the description if you want to go check out the app. You can customize your viewing experience as much or as little data as you like. The more the better, I say. Lots of stuff over there that's well worth the £2.29 I think you need for the F1 TV access, but the app itself is free. So yeah, well worth it. So thank you to those guys, and hopefully we're going to get a great session. And we'll have a look as well over the winter about how to get more information. Apparently there's a way to do it, but I can't work it out for some reason. I don't know if I need to redo my whole setup, but I'm not going to do that for the last weekend of the season. But I'll try and get some more stuff on there with the timing tower for next year. Maybe get rid of the text and logo above and just have a bigger timing tower as well for testing. But we'll see how we go. But yeah, that's where we're at. So we're ready to go for quali. I'll do my best to keep you updated. If I have to disappear for a couple of minutes just to have a moment, then I will do. But hopefully we should be all okay. But there are, cars behind me. It's mostly Ferraris. Quite a few up there. We've got a Mercedes there. Don't ask me what year it is. And of course, we've got Max's first championship winning car from that weekend as well in Abu Dhabi. And then there's some Lego stuff above it. So I do need to show you all properly. But yeah, I've got loads over there. So maybe that's that. Maybe one stream a week over the winter, and I take one car down and just show you it for an hour. There, just like that. There you go, all sorted. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I have a moment. Yeah, Norris on pole. He's go cry. No, I like Lando. I have no issue with him at all. It's not a name dropping or bragging thing. I've met him more than a few times now. He's a lovely guy. Wish him all the best. I love Piastri. I think he's great as well. I love his attitude. I love how chill he always seems to be. So I'd love him to do it. And of course, Max is my man. So hopefully he can nick title number 5. But as he said, he's got 4 of them already, so he's not bothered. Everything else he does is a bonus. So please do drop a like on the stream, by the way. Make sure you share, and if you are new, please do subscribe. We are not far off monetization, actually, so if we can get to 1,000 subs ASAP, that'd be amazing. But don't forget, like I say, this channel wasn't supposed to launch until January. We went early because the season got interesting, so we are well ahead of where we would have been. So I'm pretty sure if we're not monetized by testing, we will be during it. it. So 6 days of it. So I still need to ask people if they want to join me as a guest. I'm pretty sure John T will be up for it. I'll see if Stuart fancies some. And I'll see if I find any other people that want to get involved. Might invite Elizabeth on. Who will be the 800th subscriber, says Connell. I might create an account just for me. We go for Q1 then. Ready for the final qualifying session of 2025. Pierre Gasly, first man out on track in that Alpine, which does look better with that pink on it, doesn't it? But it's not quite as obvious a change as it used to be when they changed livery to pink. I hope you understand what I mean by that, but yeah. John T. Shaw go on a road trip to watch testing. I can't, yeah. I don't fancy Bahrain. Bit hot, Kev. But yeah, lots of cars heading straight out as expected. Hamilton in the tunnel there. Stroll as well going out. No overtaking in the tunnel. Worth keeping an eye out on that this weekend. Of course, on other tracks, you are allowed to overtake when you're leaving the pit lane on the pit exit if people are being a bit slow, but you're not allowed to in the tunnel in Abu Dhabi. The rules are a bit different here. I think we got penalties last year for that, didn't we? So keep an eye on that during the session. Navi Pants says, I don't care what the World Championship result is going to be, just hope it's not something controversial, team manufactured that leaves a nasty feeling. No, I agree. I'd like Max to win it, but I'm not going to sit here getting upset if it's Norris or Piastri. I think Max deserves it for his comeback. I think Piastri deserves it for particularly his sort of first half of the season. I think Norris deserves it for his second half of the season in particular, but it's, yeah. It doesn't feel quite as tense as 2021 did. I'll say that. But yeah, let's... well, Massey ain't here, so we won't get that, will we? So I shouldn't worry too much about that. But yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But I just wish it wasn't at this track. I think if you... Again, sorry to be negative, but if you imagine this championship situation at Interlagos on a track that has an incredible fan atmosphere, it's a great track to watch cars around. You can overtake, and the weather's always likely to throw a curveball. Imagine that. I mean, come on. It's just money, money, money. That's all it is. Sean, if you have Ferrari strategy v Man United scouting team to make decisions in your life, which will be worse and why? I think I'd just give up, to be honest, mate. Yeah. I think Ferrari strategy. I probably just about. Lewis Hamilton now on his first flying lap. Let's see if he gets through. He's coming to turn 5 now. Probably not his favourite corner in F1, but round turn 5 he goes onto that long straight. Is DRS shorter here this year, or is it still the same length as last year? I didn't see anything to say they'd shortened it, but that detection, that activation line seems a little further down. Unless that was the case last year. I think they shortened one of them last year, didn't they? So maybe it's that one they shortened. But yeah, it just seems a little bit further down than last year. Morris says, odds on Sonny Hayes stealing the Abu Dhabi victory again. Oh, spoiler alert. You know I was desperate to watch that film, Murray. I must watch it this winter. Just no interest at all. So Lance Stroll currently purple and purple, but he's... yeah, he's not even the first one to do a lap, actually. So good start to the session here for Lance Stroll, but I suspect others may go quicker. Hamilton has navigated turn 9 fine, by the way. Coming to the final couple of corners now, which are quicker than he used to be, particularly that first part. And then in there he goes. Hulkenberg now purple in the middle sector. Hamilton goes fastest on a 124 flat, 7/10 clear of Pierre Gasly. Colapinto's lap time 24.4 was deleted for track limits at turn 1. Stroll goes fastest on a 23.7. There you go. As an aside, it was good to see this track in Canada got added to GT7 this week. There you go. That's 7th bassist. You just know they pull off the lead Stuart's Mass this week, and it's Michael Massey like a Scooby-Doo villain. And he would have gotten away with it too. Yeah. Yeah, I want to get into that. We'll avoid the Massey stuff, the jokes. For some people, it's still a bit raw. You're not allowed to even talk about it, let alone joke about it. So we better be careful. We got these Saubers 1 and 2. So Pascal's doing a dance in Abu Dhabi at the moment. Here's Colapinto's track limits. And, a little bit marginal, but I think he was over. The off-board will make it look completely not marginal, but on-board it looks a little bit not even close. Yeah, not even close, Sean. That was clearly track limits, but yeah. Wasn't a great lap anyway, to be fair. Was Stroll wide at the final corner? Oh, yeah, surely that was over the line. So we'll see if that gets deleted. But yeah, good shout on the Stroll one. He looked very, very wide there, didn't he? Do you lose the next lap here in Abu Dhabi? I know some tracks when you go wide at the final corner, you lose that lap and the next one because of the advantage you gain from being wide. Connell says, Raw, it's been 5 years, Christ. I was 16 when it happened. I'm 21 now and people still cry. Wonder how many rivers they've given us. I'm quite biased on it, so I'm not really bothered. But they had a blank canvas in the desert and unlimited money, and this is what they built. Yep. Terrible. But, sometimes, but yeah, Stroll has lost that time, by the way. We thought he might. 1:59.6. They did lose the next lap as well, so that answers that question for me. Thank you. There you go. But sometimes bad tracks do give us good races every now and again, so maybe we'll get one tomorrow. But the fact that Crofty keeps banging on about how critical pole position, and rightly how critical pole position is this weekend, kind of tells you all you need to know. If Norris is on pole, I don't want to discourage you from watching tomorrow, but I think you could take that to the bank, to be honest. Hey, CPB says that Tsunoda to torpedo the McLarens when he gets lapped. Well, funny is that I did actually... I said to Stuart, I think if Tsunoda is going to deliver any weekend, he needs to be up there this weekend. Think, forget all the controversy at the end. Think back to 2021 and the critical role that Sergio Perez played in all of that. Defending and fighting like an animal to keep Lewis Hamilton behind as long as possible, which ultimately enabled Verstappen, or kind of prevented Lewis Hamilton from pitting when a safety car came out because Verstappen was closer and Verstappen made the stop instead. So, he played a great role in that, a pivotal role. So, Tsunoda needs to be up there this weekend, even if it's just to be causing McLaren problems. But I don't think he will be. And I hope Hadjar's better next year. I mean... with the greatest of respect to Yuki Tsunoda, I don't think, and Liam Lawson too as well, I suppose, I don't think he can be much worse, can he? So, worth a go. Is Max on a used set? No. So used sets for Hulkenberg, Bortoletto. So the two Saubers on used sets, everyone else on new sets. Leclerc on the mediums, apparently. Is that correct? As is Hamilton, or his fastest time was on the mediums, and Gasly was on the mediums as well. So maybe used a lot of sauces. Bearman goes fastest on the 23.2. He's been quick this weekend, Ollie Bearman. He could be a surprise. Not thinking pole, but, he might get in amongst it, cause some problems. Yeah, I'll miss Yuki as well, Connor. I will. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a better driver than this season has shown. We've seen that enough as Piastri goes second, 1,000th slower than Bearman, but he was a bit back end out in the final corner. Here comes Antonelli, only 8th at the moment. And round the corner goes Russell, goes fastest, 7,000th quicker. So Bearman's time is actually really competitive in there. 7,000th slower than Russell and 1,000th quicker than Piastri. That's true, to be fair, yeah. McLaren don't need Yuki Tsunoda to cause them problems. They can do it themselves, can't they? That's a very good point, yeah. What? I was glad I wasn't live for the sprint last weekend because it was so boring, but I wish I'd been live for that race because I was just laughing my arse off at McLaren. Like, what are you doing, guys? What a poor strat. I mean, come on. I'm sure you've all moaned about it enough this week and heard enough about it, but my word, what are you doing? Everyone and their dog knew that was the right time to pit. And no. So concerned was my take. So concerned that they might compromise one driver that they didn't pick the other one either. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyway, George Russell will be happy with that lap, I'm sure. We're currently 8 minutes to go. We're coming up to, and we've got Ocon, Albon, Colapinto now getting his time deleted again. So Ocon, Albon, Leclerc, Gasly, and Colapinto in the drop zone. Hamilton to fifth, by the way. So, and I think the medium tire experiment is about to come to an end for Charles Leclerc, because he's currently 18th, so he needs some soft tyres for sure. Yeah, I expected to end up at Aston Martin at some point, to be honest, CPB, for whatever reason. I think the Honda tyres there just make sense, don't they? They really do. I was hopeful for Yuki. I think that he was the right decision after they decided to let Checo go. I think the 2-race experiment with Lawson was just pointless for everybody involved. But even if Yuki had the full pre-season, I don't think he'd have been much better than he has been. So, exactly. Do you know what, Moray? That is possibly the best comment I've ever read on YouTube. You are so correct. If McLaren had kept Van Dorn, they wouldn't be in this mess. Exactly. I mean, look, everyone knows that. Even those in chat that hop in now and say that's nonsense, deep down inside, they know that's true. They know that's true. Stoffel Van Dorn, he'd have won this championship by Japan. Do you know what I mean? It just, come on. What have we got? 1.4 seconds separating the field, 7/10 separating first to 18th. We don't actually count Colapinto because his time's been deleted again. And is it turn 1 again? No, this is Gasly. Oh, Gasly, again, on board, borderline, off board. Well, just about. Yeah, that was a little close to Colapinto's. But Colapinto just keeps getting way wide there again. Tricky corner, though. Not as easy as it looks. Van Hu, get out, Alfie. How dare you? Lawson can complain about the traffic there. Mate, honestly, he doesn't even know. Look in his mirrors. No, he doesn't. Nobody does. We know that. Stoffel will be win this championship in his road legal Lambo, but he's just that good. He'd do it in an 09 plate Astra, mate. He's just that good. I watched the race from 2004 and 5th place qualified 2.3 seconds back, says Michael. Bloody hell. Yeah, I mean, you think the gaps used to be huge, didn't they? So, but the thing is, this gap will open out again next year. It's a trade-off, isn't it? You leave the regulations alone and we get this incredibly close field, but because everyone's so close, it means that getting side by side and overtaking is difficult and cars are harder to follow. So you reset the rules to give us closer racing and more overtaking, but that then spreads the field out more, so it's not as close. So you get less surprises. So it's a trade-off, but you know, 5 years' time, we'll be talking about how close 2026 regulations are. Why are we changing them again? So, we're just in a little bit of a lull while we wait for people to head, but they're all in the pits at the moment. They're getting ready to go. Yes, Charles Leclerc is going out on a set of the soft tyres, but it's put a bit of pressure on him. Really unnecessary pressure, but I suppose we've seen a couple of times this season mediums have been a really good tyre, haven't they, for qualifying? So maybe that's what they're thinking there. Gave it a go, but it's not really worked out at all, has it? My lights seem really bright today. I don't know why. I'm going to turn them down ever so slightly. Fun fact: I've labelled my lights wrong. So I've got one that's labelled right and one that's labelled left, but I got them the wrong way around, so I keep forgetting. So. What's the knockout time for Q1, Dean? Sean, autocorrect, Dean. 23.3 is the projected knockout. 2/10 either way. So there you go. I think that's made that a little bit better. I don't know if it's too dark, but you know, we've got look at the Christmas stuff. It's all pretty. It's very good. It's good stuff. So Russell, I mean, it doesn't really matter who's fastest at this stage, does it? But yeah, Crofty's already said if it stayed like this, then Norris would be world champion. But that's I appreciate the point he's making, but it's Q1 and no one wins the championship in Q1. So let's wait and see. But Russell is going to be a curveball here. Sorry, they're showing seasons in F1. Max Verstappen 11, Oscar Piastri 3, Lando Norris 7. If you'd have asked me, I'd have said about 5. 7 seems a lot. That seems surprising. Wow, that's yeah. Wow. 7 seats. So it's 7 years since he called me a dickhead. There you go. That's some information for you. Why not? It was a funny conversation. It's fine. Here's the most experienced McLaren driver, says Fudd. Sean, as a United fan, who would you rather win the league, City or Arsenal? I'd rather yeet myself off a bridge, to be honest. I hate City. I hate Liverpool. I hate Chelsea. I hate Arsenal. So I guess Arsenal because it's been a long time, but I can't be bothered to listen to their fans either. But, you know, there you go. But yeah, we're going to see these final laps. There's a 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Piastri purple in the first sector. It's the bottom 5, obviously, we're looking at here. Ocon currently out, as is Albon, Leclerc and Gasly, Colapinto, Bortoletto on the bubble. Tsunoda not safe either by a mile. 23.3, did we say? So everybody from Verstappen down apparently needs a lap here. I have no idea what that is. I'm having a moment. Yeah, traffic in the tunnel. They're going to get a move on, you know. Those who are just exiting the pits now are going to have to get a move on. They might not get the best preparation lap because they've got to get out of the way of faster cars as Norris goes fastest. And it's a 1:23, 1:24 for a lap. Flat out. So Bortoletto and Hulkenberg, if they've just exited the pits, might struggle to get over the line here. We'll see. Or at least get over the line with the perfect preparation. There goes Alex Albon, goes P7. Sainz has got purple in the first sector, by the way. Piastri goes fastest. Nearly 6/10 quicker than Lando Norris. Where has that come from? A 22.6 from Aussie P. We'll go back to calling him Aussie P again if he's going to start doing that. Or as somebody called him in testing anus pastry. Verstappen, purple in the middle sector, nearly 2/10 up, so he's flying as well. Sainz went third. Antonelli goes second, 3/10 off Piastri. Max Verstappen is just going through under the hotel now. A little bit of traffic, but he should be okay there. There goes Russell over line. Stays P5, doesn't improve. Verstappen will come round now. 22.6 to beat. Does a 22.8. So Piastri's final sector must have been mega. It was indeed 29.6. Leclerc goes fourth now on a soft tyre. Tsunoda is improving as well. He is in the drop zone as it stands. Gasly improving. Stroll improving. Tsunoda over the line. He goes 10th. Is that going to be enough for Yuki Tsunoda? We'll find out very, very soon. Stroll down in the middle sector on a time he needs to get through. So he's currently out as it stands. There is a checkered flag. Lawson goes P9. He should be okay there. He was first to take the flag as well. Here goes Gasly. He goes 15th, does Gasly, so he might sneak through. But what are Hulkenberg and Bortoletto going to do? They did start their lap. Stroll goes 10th. Good lap from him. Fernando Alonso now in trouble. Can he improve? Needs to improve. Hamilton under a bit of pressure, but he is improving as Alonso goes fourth. Of course he does. It's Fernando Alonso. Ocon improving. Hamilton improving. Down on Piastri, but up on his own time. He should be comfortably through if he finishes his lap. Ocon, it'd be a shame to see a Haas out, given how good that car's been so far, thus far. Round the final corner comes Ocon. Can he get himself through? He can into 12th place. Knocks out Alex Albon. Hamilton should be okay. He needs this lap, though, to be a good one. He doesn't improve. Hamilton might be in a spot of bother here because Bortoletto, what are his sector times? 17 flat, better than Hamilton. And he does go through. Bortoletto through. Out goes Lewis Hamilton again. Hulkenberg does improve to 18th. Gasly 19th. Colapinto 20th. But Lewis Hamilton for the third? Q1 or SQ1 session in a row is out. 8,000ths of a second just away from Yuki Tsunoda. His final sector, I think, was the problem there. But yeah, he is out. 16th, Albon 17th, 18th for Hulkenberg, 19th Gasly, 20th Colapinto, Piastri topping the session. There you go. Thing is, Crofty and Martin Brundle. Oh, Lewis Hamilton out. Wow. I'm not having a go at the guy, and I'm not a Lewis Hamilton hater before that gets thrown in my face, but it's just not surprising, is it? The car doesn't suit him. He doesn't suit the car. That's his third Q1 of some kind session in a row that he's been knocked out, at least. It's just not a shock. So I don't know why we're all acting so surprised. Just, I guess, I don't know. What else is there to say? Next year's massive for Ferrari and Hamilton. If they don't hit the ground running next year, they'll both be in trouble. So there'll be huge changes at the top. They'll make changes to the driver lineup at the end of the year. We'll have a new boss. Fred Vasseur will be out at his arse. You know, that's what they do. So there you go. Although I will agree with Crofty. Crofty just says, "Where'd you go from here?" And then he went a few weeks away from F1. One more weekend for Lewis. Just the race now. He can have a lie down. Just the race to do tomorrow, and then he can go and enjoy whatever he wants to enjoy over Christmas and New Year. And I don't know. Does he drink? If he doesn't, he probably started this year. But yeah, I don't know. Just have a few drinks and chill. Feel bad for Lewis. It feels like he's in proper crisis, says Rapide. Yep. Hamilton bad to worse, sad to see. Kevin says, retire, Lewis. Leclerc drives it and Lewis isn't suited. It's that simple. It still stings the fall off. Oh, yeah. It's not. Again, discussed this with Stuart the other day. It's painful to watch any world champion, any F1 great struggle. It's not shocking that he's out, but it is still. I don't know. You watch years and years of domination. Hamilton topping the timesheets. You know, roses are red, violets are blue. Hamilton's in trouble. Mercedes 1-2. You know, we had that for years, didn't we? So, my tyres are gone. P1. It's just it was so used to it. So seeing it down there is still a bit jarring, but it's not shocking. So, and it is still sad to see. When's the last time Ferrari actually had a respectable season in full? Says bruh. I mean, the fact of having to think about it says a lot, doesn't it? Probably 2012? 2024 was respectable. No, that's fair, Maury. Yeah, no. They nearly won the championship, but I'm just thinking 2012, I don't think a lot of the losing the championship at the end was down to Ferrari. Grosjean did a big chunk of that in Belgium, didn't he, for example? So I think as a full team, I think 2012 was a good year for them. But no, 2024 is fair to miss out on the championship like that, yeah. 2015 is a good shout as well, you know. Didn't win the championship, didn't challenge for the championship, but surprised a lot of people with Vettel's first win in Malaysia for them. That was a surprise. Yeah. Strange. What was I going to say? Yeah, just if you are just tuning in, by the way, apologies for sniffing and coughing all over the place. I'm still not well, but way better than I was last week. So if I couldn't speak, I was going to do this weekend because it's a title decider. Apparently, it's 2-1 to Villa. Who are they playing? Arsenal. Go on, Villa. Have they nicked it right at the end? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That means nothing to anybody outside the UK. 2020 year was almost our year, though. Almost. I've got a video I'm going to start on next week, which I'm going to put out in January, about how 2026 is Ferrari's year, honest. It's going to be a bit sarcastic, but I'm quite looking forward to doing that. 2024 was a really good season, actually. I think. But yeah. I could accept Hamilton's position if he was helping a new team develop, but I mean, it's Ferrari. Come on. Well, he wanted to go there, didn't he, and do the Schumacher thing. But Martin Brundle was absolutely spot on last week. When Michael Schumacher went to Ferrari, he took Ross Brawn. Did he take Rory Byrne with him as well? Jean Todt was there. He built that team around him, and they built the team around him, and they all pulled in the same direction. We are green for Q2, by the way. Hamilton went there on his own. He needed to take Bono with him. And that's easier said than done. Bono may not have wanted to go. You have to bear in mind, Bono would probably have had to have moved to Italy. Didn't want to do that. So I understand why it's not as simple as that. But I think if Hamilton, it's little things like that. People who know you, people who know how to work with you, people who know what you want. I think Hamilton will be having a much better 2025 just with Bono alongside him. The same Ferrari problems will be there, don't get me wrong, but there's a relationship there that works and has been massively successful. So I'm quite surprised that there wasn't a way to get that done, but the Schumacher era was essentially a hostile takeover, says Mike. I've never heard it called that, Mike, but I like that. You're not far wrong. You're not far wrong. So many people went there from Benetton, didn't they, with Schumacher? Oh, anyway, ready for Q2. Just have a quick drink, and I'm back with you in 2 seconds. I lied. That was definitely more than 2 seconds. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Why am I getting the feeling, says Sam, that Lando wouldn't get pole, but Oscar will? Well, if he does a lap like he did in the last session out and seemingly nowhere, then yeah. But this is the thing as well, right? Another thing worth remembering from this season, things we have to think back on. How many times has Oscar Piastri looked a little bit lost in practice, particularly earlier in the season, then turned up and taken pole position and surprised us all? Got to be at least a handful of times this season, so it might happen again here. Looked a little bit lost in practice, delivers. So yeah, but I am loving. I tend to stay off Twitter quite a bit now because it's just an absolute hellhole. If you enjoy it, good for you, but it's a hellhole. But I was on there earlier having a little look because I see some people talk about conspiracy theories. And the amount of people who seem to think that McLaren deliberately sabotaged Piastri by not giving him FP1 at a circuit that these teams and drivers know exceptionally well is hilarious. A decision that will have been taken last winter because McLaren knew McLaren knew back in February that we'd get to December, we'd get to Abu Dhabi, it'd be a three-way fight, so they thought, let's sabotage Piastri now. I mean, come on, guys. I hate how they keep going, ooh, practice. It's like you aren't going to go 100% practice. I don't think you should be judged on practice, says Corner Wookie. There's no point. No point paying much attention. Well, not. There are lots of things to read into practice, long run pace in particular, but in terms of just practice just doesn't matter, does it, really? Not around this and Barcelona. You could have no practice in Abu Dhabi and no practice in Barcelona, and teams will still have so much data that it wouldn't be much different for them in the weekend. Kimi is beating Lewis to P6, says CPB. Actually, do you know what, CPB? Remind me after quali. We'll stay live for about half an hour afterwards if I can stomach it. Or chest it, I suppose. Let me know, or remind me, and I'll have a look at what the point situation is, because that's an interesting one. That's a really good point. Could he nick it? I think it's close, isn't it? So I'm interested to look what fights away from the championship are we looking at tomorrow? That's what I want to look at. So, yeah, Connell says practice is important, but not for pace, and it matters even less here in Spain. That's it. It's not. It matters for setup, but you could probably do an Abu Dhabi setup or a Barcelona setup based on last year, is what I mean. It's not critical. A track like Qatar, where it's still relatively new, or Vegas, you need all the laps you can get. A track with high evolution, again, like a Vegas, you need all the laps you can get. Here, less important. Still important, but less important. Oh, never write off Max either, Sam. He's another one. He might just crop up and do a lap out of nowhere. I mean, Antonelli looks good again. Russell looked good in practice this morning. So he might spring a surprise. We'll see how we go. God, the sabotage rumours are boring. Every boring since Baku. Yeah. Well, it's like, I might talk about this tomorrow because it really riled me up. I'm not in a shouty mood today. I was in a grumpy mood. But it's like the Antonelli stuff from last week. Oh, and Antonelli deliberately moved out of the way. You can make that comment, but like the minute you try to analyse that, why? there is zero reason for him to have done it. So why would anybody even think that? It's so baffling to me. I mean, Antonelli is driving for the works team. They provide the engines to McLaren. It's not the other way around. So there's no agreement there. Antonelli has a very good relationship with Max Verstappen and probably has a very good relationship with Lando Norris. So it's not friendship favoritism. There's no reason for it to have happened. So it's just such a stupid overreaction from people. Everything's a conspiracy when it doesn't go somebody's way, and it's just... Oh, it's so boring. I'm totally with you, Connell. It's so boring. It really is. So fed up with it. Drive to Survive can fuck off, mate. I'm telling you. Oh, dear. Because, of course, we were all good friends before Drive to Survive. We never disagreed on anything, and there was never any conspiracy talk. It's all tongue-in-cheek. Just ignore me. Russell around the final corner. Verstappen currently fastest, not anymore. There is Russell fastest, 2 tenths quicker. Sainz in P3. He's got a helmet, hasn't he, designed this weekend for his the whole unicorn thing, hasn't he? Is it Sparkles Unicorn or some nonsense like that? His new Lucky Omen. Whoa, back end out there for Charles Leclerc, goes 6th. I don't know if it's salted or not, Connor, by that. It was a fair point. Alonso threw it threed. And by threed, of course, I mean third. Stroll 4th. Bortoletto now goes 4th. So close again out there. I'll come back to your comments in a minute. There's a couple there I'll probably read in the gap because they're quite funny. But yeah. See what Norris and Piastri do. They should go quicker here. These arms are moving. It annoys me. There we go. This is Piastri first. Yes, it is across the line. Only 3rd, but used tyres for Verstappen, Piastri, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Bearman, Lawson, and Norris. So just bear that in mind. A lot of those midfield and further back cars are actually on new tyres. Everybody else on used. Norris goes 2nd. Russell on new tyres as well. He's not a midfielder, but you know what I mean. Max just coming through turn 7 and into 8. DRS White got a lovely toe off whoever that is just ahead of him. Who is that? That's Fernando Alonso. Hop out of the way. Gives Max a lovely toe. Doesn't matter quite so much in this session, but that'll be nice on these used tyres. If Max can get through and save himself a set, that'll be a big deal. Could help him tomorrow because Pirelli reckon graining. I know Norris has to trouble with graining, but Pirelli reckoned coming into this weekend that graining might be less of an issue here this weekend than it tends to be, which might make the softer viable race tyre for once. So saving yourself a set might not be a bad idea. Verstappen goes 2nd, 22.7. That should be okay, shouldn't it, as we look at Lando Norris's mum? So just to confirm again, used tyres for, now it's settled down, Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Bearman and Lawson. So don't read too much into those times, but that little toe from Fernando will have really helped Max out a little bit. Leclerc back end out at the final corner. I don't know what to say about Ferrari anymore, so I'm not going to. But, yeah. Did I hear correctly that Tsunoda has an inferior wing today so that Max has a spare? I not heard that, Mike. That doesn't mean it's not true. I mean, if you have one spare rear wing and it's your better rear wing, then you save it for your title challenger, don't you? But It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know for sure. Somebody might know in chat. So I'm starting rumours, says Kevin. Christian Horner joins Ferrari. Yeah. I've always felt, since long before I had the F1 word and even longer before I had this channel, I've always felt that Christian Horner will end up at Ferrari eventually. So, wouldn't surprise me. He's not going to Aston. He won't go back to Red Bull. Not a cat in hell's chance will end up at Mercedes. I can't see him end up in a Sauber or Williams. Haas won't take him. I wouldn't have thought they're quite happy with their setup. So, you look at all the teams. The team with the biggest question marks over their team bosses are obviously Ferrari with Fred Vasseur, who I'd love to keep that job. I'd love him to turn it around. I really like Vasseur. But also Steve Nielsen at Alpine. He feels like a stopgap. So Kevin says, I love the long Sean pause. Yeah, it's easier to do now because I've got a camera, so you can see I'm still here. When I didn't used to do face cam, I'd go quiet for 30 seconds. It would like the streams crashed or something. But now I could just be like, some movement, so you know. Toyota Gazoo Racing Haas. Yeah, they're going to be TGR, aren't they? We're not quite getting the Toyota bit, but Toyota Gazoo Racing Haas Ferrari. Right, 4 minutes to go in this session. Projected knockout time is a 23 flat. So in theory, Russell, Verstappen, Norris are safe. Piastri may need to go again. But I think we'll probably see most cars out there again, to be honest. What exactly did they have to gain by letting Doohan go? I don't see points happening for Colapinto this year, sadly enough. I mean, they had nothing to lose keeping Jack Doohan. And to be honest, they had nothing to lose replacing him. So I guess the thing is, Alpine have been dreadful this year. And so whoever's in that second seat is going to have a rough old time of it. But from a purely business point of view, Colapinto brings money. Jack Doohan's dad was very wealthy, of course, so he bought some money, but with sponsorship and that. But Colapinto brings a lot more and a huge fan base. So if your choices are Doohan and Colapinto and there's not much to choose between them, then the deal breaker or whatever is going to be the money. So the fact it's not Kazoo annoys me, says Connor. Well, the fact we haven't got Kit Kat Cadillac still annoys me. I mean, come on. That's a brilliant name. 2.5 minutes. Here we go, though. It's starting to ramp up for some laps. And we'll see what's going to happen now. So at the moment in the drop zone, Hadjar, Tsunoda, Antonelli, Bearman and Lawson. I'd be surprised if Bearman ends up down there. I'd be surprised if Antonelli ends up down there. We'll see. There's going to be a lot of change here, I think. Verstappen stayed in the pits, by the way. Nobody else has. So he's confident that he's through. So they are going to try and save a set of soft tyres here. The first couple of laps on the board here. What's that first sector from Leclerc? 17 flat. Yellow, so not great. But only marginally so than his fastest, to be fair. So it's not horrific. Tsunoda improving. So this could be interesting. Gonna keep an eye on Leclerc here. He's currently P10. Everyone on new tyres, except for Russell, who apparently is still on used tyres. So he just wants to be out there just in case. Improvement from Leclerc. Still a 10th down, though. Sainz goes fastest in the first sector. Tsunoda goes purple in the middle sector. 4/10 up on Leclerc, which is the time he needs to get through. So this could be... I said Tsunoda needs to be up there this weekend. Could he spring a surprise a little bit here? It would be a surprise. Whoa. Was Leclerc sideways there through that corner? Goodness me. You can see him wrestling that car, can't you? It's ridiculous. Goes fourth, so not terrible, but not comfortable. What did he do? It's 22.9. He's right on the cutoff there, isn't he? Tsunoda goes sixth, so yeah, again, not great in the end. Anthony only goes 8th. So that's putting him under pressure here because Sainz is on one here. Hadjar's on one. Bortoleto goes 4th. Cracking lap from Gabriel Bortoleto. Sainz over the line, only 9th, but drops Antonelli to 10th. Antonelli's in trouble here, isn't he? I said I'd be surprised if he was down there, but it looks like we're going to be surprised. Lawson goes through. Antonelli is out. That's a shame. We want him up there causing trouble with with everyone else. Hadjar goes P6. Antonelli down to 12th. He's happy as Hadjar. There is a checkered flag, as you'd expect. Ocon goes 8th. Alonso's on the bubble. Tsunoda is not safe here. But Alonso is improving. Bearman is improving. I thought someone had crashed there. No way the camera swung around there. But there is Alonso. Still improving. Still going. Round the final corner for Fernando. Goes 4th, sorry. Really good lap from Fernando Alonso. That puts Tsunoda on the bubble. And over the line goes Ollie Bearman. And I said before that all kicked off that I'd be surprised to see Antonelli and Bearman down there. Antonelli and Bearman are down there. I'm so good at predictions, me. It's crazy. We've lost Ollie Bearman, P11. He missed out by 7 thousandths of a second. That's agonising. Carlos Sainz 12th. Lawson 13th. Antonelli 14th. Stroll in 15th. In fact... 8. That's less. That's well below a 10th of a second between Bearman and Stroll. So below a 10th of a second between 10th. No, is that less than a 10th between 8th and 15th? Is that about right? Yeah. Wow. In fact, go even further up. 7th, 6th. Bloody hell. That is close out there. That is so close. Leclerc. Twitchy at turn 1. That car just is so bad, and yet John Elkann thinks it's improving. I think that's probably the most concerning thing that I've heard about Ferrari this season was John Elkann saying the car is clearly improving. I mean, Jesus. Tone deaf. Tsunoda. That was close to being track limits. I think his left front was just about... on that line. What was the result in the football, if anyone knows, by the way? Villa, Arsenal, was it 2-1 in the end? Or was there an extra bunch of added time as we tend to get for the top teams? 10 minutes or something. Bortoleto Q3. Pascal is happy. Pascal in Abu Dhabi, of course, this weekend. Our on-the-ground reporter is Pascal. Says, yes, Bortoleto in Q3. It was 2-1 to Villa. Thank you. That goal was the final kick of the ball. Nice. It's a real shame we couldn't get the Everton game won when they had 10 men. It's a real shame we couldn't get the West Ham result over the line because that would have been a nice result today. But yeah, not pretending the title. Just would be nice to be close to it, you know. At least dare to dream. You guys having a conversation about getting involved in that one. So weird seeing Ford on a car with a Honda engine and now Toyota with a Ferrari engine, says Kevin. I hate the creepy behaviour of constantly showing the girlfriends. Leave them alone, says Corner Wookie. It's just, I don't know. Just not needed, is it? Like, I'm also not convinced, okay? You know when you hear the cheers from the crowd? I'm also not convinced that's not dubbed over. I don't know. I guess a cheer just sounds like a cheer, whoever's doing it, but they always sound the same. I don't know. I don't know if we follow football, but we'll be pleased with the Villa result. Pleased when Villa do good, says Fudd. Yeah, it was dubbed over in COVID. Yeah, that was, yeah. Which I never got. I never got that at all. Because football did the same, didn't they? Hey, Ash. Sorry, I should have said hey to you as well. There you go. Yeah, they did the same in football. They were playing over crowd noise. It's like, why? Like, do you think... Are we that stupid that we hear the crowd noise. Well, there must be. I can't see a crowd there, but there must be one somewhere. Christ. Hi, John T. Says, Derp, forgot you were on. It's all right, mate. It's okay. We were talking about you earlier. Talking about testing streams. I said you might be up for a few. I saw you got a bit of toothache as well, mate. I hope you feel a bit better today. Not a lot worse than. I think the only thing worse than toothache is backache. Oh, that's you done, isn't it? When your back goes. But yeah, I guess at least with backache you can still eat cake, I suppose. But yeah. John Elkin is an idiot, says Aaron. He was the mastermind behind the Hamilton signing when he had a perfectly balanced partnership with Leclerc and Sainz. I do wonder, though, Aaron, and I think Jonty made this point, actually, in the stream we did a couple of weeks ago. I don't know how much of the Hamilton signing was with 2026 in mind and that experience of building or being part of a championship team and going into a new rules regulations or rules reset, maybe how much of that was to do with that. Because I said it last year, and I'll say it again, and I'm happy to keep saying it. It's not a thing against Hamilton, but Carlos Sainz did nothing wrong. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, wasn't he, really? Thank you for your votes on the poll, by the way. Who will take pole position for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix? 39% you say Norris, 31% say Verstappen, 20% Piastri, 10% other. Thank you very much for your votes. Please do drop a like on the stream, by the way, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new. Lots to come. A bit to come in December, not lots, a few bits, not an awful lot. I'll be having a really good break for Christmas and New Year, I think. But lots to come for 2026, including all 6 days of testing live. Is that about 8 hours a day, isn't it? So what's that? 8, 16, 30. Is that 64 hours? Unless that's bad math, isn't it? 8, 16, 24, sorry. I went 32. I doubled 16 instead of adding another 8, so 24. That's 48 hours of testing streams for you. Anyway, Anthony Davis is just looking at the Yuki Tsunoda's very close to track limits moment there. John says, all good for testing with any better camera by then. Pick up all the wrinkles and greys. Yeah, I might have to get a better camera, but I need a camera that gives me hair. That would be really cool, wouldn't it? Like a filter. Just lots of hair. Like the United Strand, just a massive hairstyle. There you go. Anyway, Yuki, I think looking at what Anthony Davis is looking at there, I think his left front is just on the. I think if you look at the top down, I think that left front will be over just on the line. So I think he should be. It is touching, but it is very close. It's any further over, that's a lap time deletion. The car co and a race co shouldn't mix. Enzo knew that, says all-wheel dingus. Alonso gave Max a tow. Lando needs the help as well from someone, says Sam. I just think looking at the cars now, Hamilton does not have the feel for them, and is there going to be a drastic difference to 26? Would be a different story if the cars were 2010-esque, says Aaron. I don't know what to make of next year's rules and who it's going to suit. It's going to be really... The funny thing is, I mean, we'll do all that testing stuff. Katy Perry's there if you're interested. Whatever. We are green for Q3. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of next year, but we're going to do all those testing streams, and we'll still have no idea by the end of testing because we won't get any idea. It'll be that first Q3 session in Australia is when we're really going to know the pecking order. And even then, as I've said for years now, you look at Australia, China, Suzuka, all so different tracks. Then you go to Bahrain and Saudi, totally different tracks. You're not going to get a real gauge until we get to the likes of... We're not at Barcelona. Are we at Barcelona next year? We are, aren't we? Yeah, one more year. Yeah, so we've got a year of 2 Spanish Grand Prix effectively next year, aren't we? One Spanish, one whatever they're going to call it. So we're not going to get a real read until we get to a more traditional track. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see. We can worry about 2026 in the new year. Let's enjoy our first title-deciding Abu Dhabi Grand Prix since... Never mind. The fact that Katy Perry's dating Justin Trudeau is so crazy to me, says Neelish. Fair enough. I didn't even know that. Is that a fact? Is that a genuine fact? That's mad. In fact, Kevin says Katie's data are XPM. There you go. Anyway. I didn't know that was a fact. That is a fact. There you go. It's just, yeah, I don't keep up on popular culture very well. Yeah. So we're just waiting for this to get going here. Here's Max Verstappen around the final corner to start his flying lap. Now we've gone off board for some reason. It'd be nice to watch this on board, see what it was like. Time to beat is a 7:18.986 from Yuki Tsunoda. I'm pretty sure that's not a standard time. We'll see what he could do. But yeah, Verstappen, of course, remember, did save himself a set of soft tyres in the last session, didn't he? So that's something to remember for tomorrow, probably. Sad Mariners fan who's not from Grimsby said, turns out her teenage dream was being a politician's wife. There you go. That's such a good reference. Sorry, it really is. Anyway, Max Verstappen down to the chicane at 6 and 7. 16.8 in the first sector. We'll see what Norris does. He's just coming through now. 16.8 to beat. Does a 17 flat. Don't forget, used tyres for everybody apart from Russell, Leclerc and Verstappen. So that'll be where some of that time's gone for Norris. Just bear that in mind. So Max is going to be pretty quick here then, yeah. So I didn't realise it was on the new versus the used there. So round the final corner for Max Verstappen. Does a 1:22.295. That's a good lap. That's a really good lap, actually. So Bortoletto goes second on a 23.2 on used tyres. I struggle with the word used. I'm not reading it, John T. I'm not. I'm not doing it. Oh no, I refuse. I've made a couple of jokes already. I refuse to do it. I can't do it anymore. It's not worth the potential backlash. If the cult fire me, I'm finished. 1:22.7 for Norris. 4.5 tenths off Verstappen again on used tyres. So yeah, a bit of a, not anticlimactic, a bit of a not thrilling first part of this shootout because so many are on used tyres. But Leclerc goes, wow. Leclerc third, 0.5 tenth off Norris, and that's on a new set. So yeah, they're fresh tyres for Leclerc. Piastri goes second, 22.6. Bortoletto is really developing well, isn't he, says Kevin. Yeah, he's had a good season. Trouble for Bortoletto is Hadjar. Whoa, George Russell really sideways through, I need to call it something else then, through turn 14. But there you go, only P5, but that is again on that's on new tyres for Russell. That's interesting. That's new tyres for Russell, so that can't be right. Well, it's 10th off Verstappen in the first sector, a couple of tenths off in the middle, maybe. Originally it said used tyres on the time you've got here, so. Whoa, good sideways through there. Oh, this is, yeah. So, Crofty talking about the advantage of Red Bull having two cars in Q3. I guess using Yuki Tsunoda for a tow. Yeah, that's what he's getting out there. That makes sense. But yeah, not sure. We do, Connell, in a way. If that's the top three tomorrow on the grid, I don't see much changing. Norris ain't going to stick it in on Piastri. and Piastri will need to have a go at Verstappen, but I can't see. I think that just ends. If we qualify now Verstappen, Piastri, Norris, it stays Verstappen, Piastri, Norris tomorrow. We need Russell. Yeah, Verstappen pole, Piastri second, Russell third, and then like a Hadjar or Leclerc fourth, and Norris down in fifth, just to make it interesting tomorrow. But Yuki Tsunoda says Fud. Oh dear. Fud is on it today. Very obviously excited for the final race of the season. I know Kevin's not looking forward to it because the constructor's already decided, so probably quite boring for Kev this weekend, but it's okay. There's still P7 to decide, mate. It should be good. Verstappen is so vulnerable on his own out front, says Aaron. Yeah, this is what I mean. I get why they want the toe, but also you'd surely want Tsunoda in the mix for second or third, wouldn't you? I mean, I'm being ambitious there. I'm fully aware of that, but not the best toe from Yuki there, but on board it looks actually a bit better. It didn't look great off board, but yeah, no, that's all right. But yeah, I guess what Max needs is pole and the win. If he wins tomorrow, he's done all he can. So I guess that's what they're thinking at Red Bull. Who's more nervous, do you think, for tomorrow? Do you think it is Norris? Or tense? Because Verstappen, as he said in the press conference, he's already got 4 trophies at home. Just doesn't matter to him, does it? He's achieved all he wants to. Everything else is a bonus. So, so he's kind of... If Verstappen wins this World Championship, it'll be one of the all-time great comebacks, if not the greatest comeback, and one of the greatest title wins of all time. But if he doesn't win it, the fact he was in it in the finale is still an incredible comeback. So he's got nothing to lose, really. Piastri probably has even less to lose, frankly. Norris is the one that has it all to lose. So you'd have to say Norris is probably the most tense. Zach, I said Alfie. Zach's still talking about his barbecue on Thursday. He can't stop going on about it. It's bloody Zach Brown and his flipping barbecue. They gave great speeches. I don't care. What did you eat? Oh, it's Katy Perry again. Just in case you didn't catch her the third time we saw her. There we go. Oh, dear. Terrible. Terrible. I'd say this is his GOAT championships, though. This is what proves he's the greatest of all time, says Corner Wookie on Verstappen. Whatever happens. I don't know. We're ready. I'm just having a moment, just trying to work out I'm trying to, obviously the focus is rightly on who's going to be on pole here because it's qualifying, but also on the Championship 3. I'm just trying to look at sort of some timing and try and work out who could do something quite special here. Quite surprised. I mean, if you'd have said a Haas was going to be in Q3 today, I'd have gone with Bearman all day long, but Ocon in there. I think watch out for Bortoletto. He could cause a surprise here. I'm not thinking pole, by the way, but yeah, he could spring a surprise with where he ends up. Oh, I was going to refresh the chat quickly so we're ready for this. So is Tsunoda going for a lap and then going to go and play the team game? I should say as well, everybody's won from pole here for the last 10, is it? So all the pole sitters won, not won from pole, but the pole sitter has won for the last 10. So that tells you all you need to know about Yas Marina. As we look at Emerson Fittipaldi, I don't mind looking at XF1 drivers. There you go, legend. Yeah, random camera cuts will be pathetic tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. Here we go then. Piastri going for his run. Where is Tsunoda I think Tsunoda is doing a lap here. He is indeed. So they are going to try here, Red Bull, and do... Well, Verstappen's not going to get a tow, is he? I don't understand this at all. I really, really don't. Because Verstappen's not going to get a tow. So Tsunoda's just gone for his lap. So how bizarre is that? Anyway, Tsunoda over the line only goes sixth after all that. There you go. Everyone on new tyres, by the way. Norris is down on Verstappen in the first sector, but is personal best. Tsunoda's lost that time as well for track limits at turn 1. So that was a complete and total waste of time for Yuki Tsunoda. Verstappen goes purple. It doesn't matter in the end. Goes purple. Why is that so funny to me? It just is. Sorry, Yuki. But Verstappen is purple. Piastri is down. Norris is down, but they're both improving their lap time. So it's between those two at the moment for P2. But Norris in the final sector this weekend has been pretty quick. So he may improve. But again, a tenth and a half down on Verstappen in the middle for Norris. Piastri, not great either. But again, this final sector, Verstappen's improving again. Quicker still. Leclerc goes third in that Ferrari. He's pulled something out there, but I don't think he'll stay there. Piastri over the line, stays P2, purple final sector. I said, watch the final sector. Piastri does that one. Here goes Lando Norris. He could do a get ahead of his teammate here, and he does indeed. He goes second, but Max Verstappen surely has pole position in the bag here, doing what Max Verstappen does. Over the line he goes, improves, 22-2. Max on pole. George Russell improving as well. Whoa, all over the place at the final corner. Goes P4, but actually, pole position is the best he could have done for Verstappen, but in terms of where his rivals are, that is not the best result for him. Lando Norris on the front row. That said, Norris tries anything. Max might put a squeeze on. We'll see. But yeah. I need to, can we have the George Russell on board, please? Fernando Alonso P6, Bortoletto 7th, Ocon 8th, Hadjar 9th, Tsunoda in 10th place. That's 2 pole laps, Max. That's a good start. Yeah, he did do 2 pole laps in the end. So, look, Max has done all he could do today. He's got pole. You'd fancy him for the win now, given that if you start on pole in Abu Dhabi, you probably win anyway. So, that first run down to turn, where are we? Turn 6 is going to be key tomorrow. But yeah, Max on pole. Lando Norris P2. Oscar Piastri P3. Stays like that. Norris is the champion. End of. Russell was P4, by the way. I want to see the onboard of Russell. That he was all over the place. Out of the final corner. Oscar Piastri's radio says P3, P3. That sets you up nicely for tomorrow. I think that sets it up horrifically for tomorrow. But anyway, here is George Russell on board. Whoa, bloody hell. All over the place. That's a brilliant save. And improved his time as well. Go on, George. Look, back end out, front end out, back end out. Goodness me. There we go. Great stuff from George Russell. That was squeaky bum time, wasn't it? Max on pole, but yeah, I think that's pretty much. I don't know. I'm not convinced that sets, unless the plan is to take Norris out in turn 1. I don't think that sets Piastri up nicely at all. I think he needed to be on the front row at the very least. But I don't. Yeah, I'm not getting my hopes up for a Verstappen title, is what I'm saying. But as Connell says, it's not over yet. You never know. If is Formula One spelt backwards, as the late great Murray Walker once said. But you know, look, I'm not having a go at him. I'm not, being one of them guys. But Lando Norris does have a tendency at times to get the starts a little bit wrong, doesn't he? So he may end up in a pickle. Thank you to... Where have you gone? I've lost you. You sent me a super chat, didn't you? Thank you to Joe. I can't seem to click on the message. It says, hey, Sean, hope you're on the mend. I'm praying the Mercs are second fastest and Norris can be a little bit a little off so we can have all the drama. I don't know if there's more to that message, mate. It's not coming up for some reason. Oh, there we go. Regardless, I appreciate the content and your vibes. Much love, my man. No worries, mate. Thank you very much for your... we'll call it a super chat. It's not officially a super chat. It's a buy me a coffee thing, but until we get super chats enabled over here, we can't call it that anyway. So thank you very much, mate. I really do appreciate that. So thank you so much for your support. And hopefully we'll be able to get the super chats enabled pretty soon. We're not far off. We are waiting for the watch time hours, so we're nearly there. Let's run through the order then, super quickly. Max Verstappen is on pole position for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix tomorrow, the title-deciding Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, with his main rival, the guy he's trying to close down, Lando Norris, on the front row with him, 2/10 between them. Max Verstappen with 2 laps, good enough for pole position in the end. Oscar Piastri, engineer, says it's set him up nicely for tomorrow. I don't think that's a great position to start in, but again, Norris has made mistakes off the line as we've seen this season, so it might give Oscar a shot into turn 1. He is on the cleaner side of the grid, though, which might be good tomorrow. 300s further back. George Russell, back end out, front end out, back end out, side end out, head off in the final corner. He gave it everything, managed P4. He might be a spanner in the works tomorrow for those ahead of him, although I think Toto Wolff wasn't quite so sure about the race pace. Charles Leclerc, I've got to say, P5, that's actually a really great result, which feels ridiculous to be saying that about a Ferrari, but once again, he's dragged everything out of that car and got a great result in qualifying. Fernando Alonso as well, and Gabriel Bortoleto, 6th and 7th, fantastic drives for them today. Esteban Ocon, P8, again, I said it a moment ago, if you'd have asked me before the session, there'd be one Haas in Q3, who would it be? I'd have said Bearman, given how it's been this weekend, but it was Esteban Ocon, so well done to him. Isack Hadjar, 9th. Yuki Tsunoda did get a lap in, but had it deleted for track limits at turn 1. He was 10th place. Ollie Bearman, 11th, and Carlos Sainz, 12th, with Liam Lawson, 13th, Kimi Antonelli, 14th, and Lance Stroll in 15th. It was 16th for Lewis Hamilton, knocked out in Q1 again. 17th for Alex Albon, 18th for Nico Hulkenberg, 19th for Pierre Gasly, 20th for Franco Colapinto. If you are disappearing, please do drop a like before you go. I know some like to disappear after the session's over and enjoy the rest of their Saturday, but please do drop a like before you go and subscribe if you are new. Few bits, not much, but a few bits to come in December, and then once we get into January next year, loads of content to come here on Formula Sean. This is the place to be. That's what I'm going to keep saying. I don't know if it's a place to be. We'll find out. But yeah, your support is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much. And I hope you see you tomorrow for the race reaction and the race watch-along, of course. Race watch-along first tomorrow here from 12:30 p.m. GMT. And then about an hour after the race, I'll be live with Stuart, a.k.a. Chamber, for the race reaction tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's have some questions from chat. Formula Sean. Again, I've said it before. That was All Wheel Dingus, by the way. I didn't just randomly shout my channel name. All Wheel Dingus said it. But again, the amount of time it took me to call that name is slightly embarrassing. Formula One. My name's Sean. What can we come up with? What do we come up with? I nearly went with, and it was a suggestion from Jonty a couple of years ago now, when I was talking about Twitch, or a few years ago with Twitch, of calling it not the F1 word. But I thought that might be sailing a bit close to the wind. Because I don't own that anymore. So, no worries, 7th Stream basis. Thank you very much for your company, mate. Very much looking forward to the race tomorrow. So, yeah, I'll take your questions, your commentations. Comments would have done, wouldn't it? But we'll go with commentations. There you go. Something is going to go horribly wrong for one of those 3 drivers. I can feel it, says CPV. Well, I had a dream last night. Don't sing. I was doing the watch along. We were watching the race, obviously. Max was winning. Piastri was second. And Norris was P3. And the camera cut to a McLaren in the wall at, funnily enough, turn 14. And it was Lando Norris. So, my dreams never come true. It's not, again, nothing against Lando, but that's what my brain told me last night. So it could happen, but I think Norris is sitting pretty there. The problem for Lando is how much Max wants to back him up. Think back to Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton in 2016. Hamilton backing Rosberg up into the pack. Max might do that tomorrow. He might do that tomorrow. It might be his best chance. He may leave it to a bit later in the race, but he may need to. Paul O'Grady says, commentations and salutations. You too, Sean. There you go. Thank you very much. I don't know what commentations was. Random word I just made up. Why not? And the camera cuts to missiles 5 miles from the track. Wait, that wasn't a dream. No. That really happened, John C. Yeah. Hadjar getting demoted to Red Bull. Hopefully resetting the regs makes the second car more drivable. Well, to be fair, I think, was it Martin? Did Martin Brundle interview him before qualifying? I think pre-recorded interview, obviously. I think Hadjar said, this car can't be geared towards Max because it doesn't exist yet. So if there is, the theory is that the car is geared towards Max rather than a second driver. Next year's car can't be, doesn't exist. So he's got a fresh start. So he's kind of being promoted to Red Bull at the best possible time, really. So I think Hadjar will do all right next year. I really do. I hope so. Thoughts on the rookie, says All-Wheel Dingus. Thoughts on the... generally, I think Hadjar and Bortoleto have been exceptional this year. What's interesting is there's no one rookie who hasn't had a bad or a difficult time in the season. Antonelli, for example, had a shocking summer, but has really delivered since the boot was put on his backside, basically. Hadjar had a dip in form where Lawson seems to get the better of him. He bounced back. Bortoleto had a bit of a down phase. He bounced back. I think Hadjar's been impressive. I think Antonelli has developed really nicely and has been impressive. But I really feel like Bortoleto, in all the hype with Hadjar and Antonelli, I think Bortoleto's getting a little bit forgotten because not only has he done a really good job this season, look who he's up against. He's up against Nico Hulkenberg, one of the most experienced drivers on the grid. Still, I believe, a fantastic talent. And he's been out qualifying him. He's been out racing him. He's been out scoring him at times. I know Hulkenberg has the advantage at the moment, helped by that podium, of course. But I think Bortoleto's done an amazing job up alongside Nico Hulkenberg, and that gets forgotten a little bit. So if I was voting for Rookie of the Season, I'd probably go with Hadjar. But I'd struggle not to give a vote to Bortoleto. I think he's done a great job this season, and Antonelli's turned it around nicely. Antonelli's summer could have gone one of two ways. That could have been the ultimate kick in the gut, and he just collapsed and never recovered, or he could have bounced back, and he bounced back, and that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So it's difficult, but I think my vote will go to Hadjar because I think. I know his nickname was it Petty Prost? Little Prost was his nickname when he was younger. But I don't feel he came with the hype that Lindblad's coming with, for example, or that Antonelli came with, or other Bearman, for example. So I think without that hype, because I'm adamant Red Bull were not waxing lyrical about him until they realised they needed him. And then they really, they never were negative about it, but then they really ramped up that positivity around Isack Hadjar. And I think the fact he came with such little hype compared to some others and he's delivered, I think that says a lot as well. Sometimes just getting your head down and getting on with it is the way to do it. So I wouldn't say Bearman's Rookie of the Season. I think he's been better than I expected, actually, Bearman, to be fair. Again, up against a really tricky teammate. Ocon's not an easy teammate to go up against. Ask Sergio Perez. But, yeah, I think Hadjar for me, just about. Maybe, if Johnson's still here, maybe that's a conversation for our Christmas stream, which we still need to arrange. Again, I like to arrange these on stream, but maybe we could do something like Sunday the 21st or something, the Sunday before Christmas, and we'll do Rookie of the Year and Race of the Year, and we'll get some polls going and with lots of interaction, have a beer, and we'll go from there. But I'll talk to you about that. But yeah, that's the plan is. Two naughty and nice. Yeah, we do this in our traditional naughty and nice list. Do we pre-record it though? That does give me great outtakes. I've got some great outtakes from from Dan. Oh, Dan. I miss Dan. Some great outtakes because he never used to swear, but man, did he swear when he got things wrong. Two Left Feet says, well, Red Bull has optimised Sector 1 and 2, the only place you can really overtake, so Max can go as slow as possible Sector 3, and maybe Red Bull can use Yuki on hards and hold Lando up after the pit. That's a good... Do you know what, Two Left Feet? That Tsunoda idea alone is a really good point. Run him long, let him get involved like they did with Sergio. Right. Two Left Feet and everyone else... Is it true? Was it ever confirmed that Sergio Perez was underfueled in 2021 at Abu Dhabi? Because he retired from that race, didn't he? With laps to spare. And there was a theory that they'd underfueled him to give him the extra pace he needed to fend off Lewis Hamilton. I wonder if they play a game like that with Tsunoda tomorrow. A little bit less, really underfuel him. Hard tyre, run long, mix it up with the McLarens, and then if they have to retire him, they have to retire him. But he's done his job. Nothing in the rules stops you doing that. Just saying. Hey, Pete. Hope you're well, mate. It's been a while. Hope you're having a good one. Having a good Saturday. We're just doing conspiracy theories and stuff like that, you know. Talking about the title. The usual, mate. You know, you've been around long enough to know what we do here. I might see if Elizabeth wants to do something. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is possible. That is possible. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that was ever confirmed for Perez. But it's what I'd do. I mean, with all due respect to Yuki, what's he going to do for 10th place anyway? I don't think he was underfueled, but I think he would have been an extra lapped car that would have taken longer to get the race started against his Two Left Feet. Piastri helped Lando, and Lando should help Oscar from next season as help him win the championship, says Sam. John says Formula E is back later. Whoop. What a weekend to schedule your first race, by the way. It's like they don't want that series to succeed, I'm telling you. For his sake, I hope so. He's the only Frenchman I don't despise, says Sam Mariners fan. There is now a scenario where Alonso spins out of the points and lets Sauber and Haas pass in the constructors. Yeah, I'm less confident about Sauber for P7 now, by the way. Because of Alonso, but that's just Alonso, isn't it? Can you also do a ranking of drivers new to their teams this season, rookies plus Hamilton, Ocon, etc.? We can have a look at it, Neelish. I'd like to have a good chat about Carlos Sainz versus Alex Albon. Pete says, I only found out about this second channel thanks to your last video. I'm doing great. No worries, mate. I know. Well, you're here now. That's all that matters, mate. It's I've said it earlier in the stream, just a quick explanation. This channel wasn't going to be set up until the 5th of January, the first week of full week of January. But because the season got interesting and a few other paranoia things, I decided to launch it early. So we're early. This is pre-Formula, Sean. This is for the cool kids. You know, this is where we all hang out now. And then next year the channel will be launched proper with a lot more content. So couple of bits in December just to get us through to the new year, and then next year we'll be ramping up content, and it'll very much be like the F1 word of old. And I've named it in such a way that nobody's ever going to want to buy it. So that won't happen again. Red Ravens put some sunglasses in the chat. Hey mate, hope you well. They're just showing a replay of the Abu Dhabi start in 2024 because why not? Max Verstappen hitting Piastri, yeah. That's a crazy moment. P8 is still possible for Sauber. It is only 5 points to Haas, says Pascal. We're going to look at that, won't we? Just 1 second. Let me get, of course, the best website in the world up, and that is Wikipedia. It's very bright though. I'm asking to go to dark mode, so it doesn't shine quite so much in my face. But so constructors wise, I think I said Haas for P7 yesterday or Thursday, so I'm less confident now with Alonso being up in P6 and Ocon only 8th. Yeah, you're right. Sauber only 5 points behind, so maybe that's the battle to watch now. But the battle for 7th, 8th and 9th, it doesn't matter to anybody but Kevin, I know. But financially for the teams, it's a big deal. I think is it $10 million per place? So that all adds up. So in terms of the Drivers' Championship fights, Antonelli is only 2 points behind Lewis Hamilton. He does start 14th, but I can see him getting those points and getting up into 6th place. That'd be quite an achievement, wouldn't it, for his first season? And the battle for P10, Hadjar 2 clear of Hulkenberg. who's only one clear of Alonso. So really, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, and Alonso is a battle for P10. Alonso at the moment, then, sitting pretty in the battle for P10. If it stayed like that, he would move up into 10th place. He's a wily old fox, isn't he? He really bloody is. We've hit 800 subs. Thank you very much, everybody. We've got 200 to go until we get to the magic monetization. So quick, everyone will create a second account. I'm joking. But yeah, please do share the channel around and everything like that. So yes, that's it. The Formula Sean Alpha release, Pete. There you go. There you go. I like that. I like that. Yes, Alpha release. We're testing. This is the Alpha. Then we'll do beta, and then we'll be testing streams, which will be the full launch. So there you go. I don't know if anyone has mentioned this already, but did anyone else think Piastri looked really resigned in that interview? Maybe there was an agreement about no risky overtakes or something. It seems out of character for McLaren, not very papaya rulesy. I didn't catch the interview, but I think Norris has had the better of Piastri all weekend so far, hasn't he? And I do wonder if that's playing on his mind a bit. Maybe he feels a bit resigned there. But I always feel that Oscar always seems so relaxed that he is almost resigned to whatever happens. So if that makes sense, Pete. But I can't imagine this agreement they can't make risky overtakes because the constructors in the bag. They've got to let them race. Yeah, I might go watch that interview and I'll come back to you tomorrow. I might go watch that one because that could be an interesting one to keep an eye on. But I got a question for chat then. Here you go. How would you feel tomorrow if Verstappen is leading? 3 laps to go, 2 laps to go, whatever. Piastri's P2, Russell is P3, and Norris is P4, and Piastri pulls over and lets Russell and Norris through. How would you feel about that? Team orders are not banned in F1, so it's completely legal, but people talk about race fixing and result rigging and all of that. How would you feel? It would leave a bitter taste, but I'd be fine with it because that's part of the game. It's team orders, and Red Bull could do the same if Yuki Tsunoda was up there and the situation was reversed in the championship. I mean, but would you feel a bit there about it? All fair, it's all part of the game. I know, just letting your teammate through. So Piastri moving over to let Norris through, no issue with that. Piastri moving over and having to let 2 cars through in order to let Norris through doesn't feel quite so great, but it's part of the game, isn't it? I guess it's just like I say, if the rules were reversed or the roles were reversed, and it was Verstappen needing P3 to win the title, then I'm absolutely certain that Red Bull would do the same. It's this team orders game, isn't it? It's part of it, but I don't know. It's the idea of letting. It's not the idea of Oscar letting Lando through. It's the idea of having to let another car through as well. Just feels a bit un-Formula One because you're letting a rival through. But I guess they have to do it, don't they? They have to do it. Pete says, I will be pissed, but I'd also get it from McLaren's point of view. Red Raven says, perfectly fine by me. Neely says, Fernando is faster than you. Red Bull do the same in a heartbeat. Absolutely, Richie, like I say, if roles reversed. And by the way, forget Red Bull and McLaren. If this was Ferrari versus Mercedes and the roles were in that situation, they'd do exactly the same. Sauber and Aston would do exactly the same. Haas and Racing Bulls, if they were in a title fight, oh, imagine that. They'd do exactly the same. It's just the letting another car through always feels weird to me. Not your teammate, but another team car. So yeah, Aaron says no issue. Red Bull do exactly the same thing if it was the other way around. You have to be ruthless in that situation, says Pascal. Pete says part of the game. Yeah, Red Bull will do the same and no problem with the P3, P4 swap, but letting another car through feels great. That's the bit. That's it, Pete. It's the letting Russell through as well. This is a complete hypothetical, as well, of course. It's just you're letting a rival through. But I guess I suppose Piastri's letting a rival through either way, isn't he? Because he's got to let his teammate go. But the best case scenario for McLaren tomorrow is that Norris finishes third and they don't have to make any decision like that. Well, best case scenario for McLaren tomorrow is that Verstappen retires and they have a 1-2. But you know what I mean. They don't want to have to make that decision, do they? But yeah, it's Interesting. Alpine would, their team principal got banned for it. They go even further than that, mate. I tell you what, Colapinto would be in the wall if it was Gasly over the title, wouldn't he? Oh no, a safety car. How sad. Good job making a pit stop. Could always try holding back the other car to let the teammate overtake. That's the point. Yeah, no, you could. Piastri could back him up first for a few laps and see what happens. And then if Norris can't pass Russell, then he has to make the swap. So that's a good point. Yeah, no. There are multiple ways around it, aren't there? But anyway, I'm not trying to cause trouble. I'm not trying to be dramatic or say that I'd be anti McLaren if they made that decision. It would just it's the letting Russell through to then let Norris through that makes me feel a bit blur. But that's it's part of the game, isn't it? Best case is that McLaren's crashed on the first lap, says Kevin. Paul says, do you think they'd retire Piastri to save face altogether? I mean, they could do. There's also the possibility, because this may surprise you, but everything we hear on team radio isn't always the truth. But wouldn't it be a shame if, 2 laps ago, Piastri suddenly got a slow puncture on the data and they needed to pit him for a fresh set of tyres and he was only 15 seconds up the road from Norris, and that's how they do it. They could tell it to move over, they could tell it to back him up, they can retire the car, they can call him in for an unscheduled pit stop, or if we get, let's say it's a 2-stop race, and we get to the final stop, 15 laps to go, Verstappen's run away with it, Norris needs the win. Oh no, Piastri's left front got stuck on. Oh, it took ages to get it. Oh, there are so many ways they could go about it. You could try and be covert, but we're all just going to sit here going, yeah, all right, whatever, mate. Retire the car, no. By the way, super quickly, Nico Rosberg 2014, I'll never ever get over that. I always give him praise for that. His car was dying, he was just plummeting through the field, struggling to get the car to the end. He refused to retire because he was determined to finish that title deciding race. I'll always love Nico Rosberg for that, honestly. Not a big deal, but yeah. Red Raven says, by the way, good to see you back in good shape, Sean. Thank you very much, mate. I'm not quite there. We've had a few coughing fits on stream. I've still got a bad cough and a sniffle because I'm being a wimp. But last weekend I was beyond pathetic. I was getting a preview edited. I just recorded it and I started to feel a bit groggy, like a bit of pressure in my head. And then I just got these really uncontrollable shakes, which was obviously a fever. So when I went and laid in bed and then got up the next morning feeling awful, finished the preview, threw that up unscheduled, went back to bed, didn't get out of bed until Sunday morning. It's like the longest I spent in bed since I was a baby. It was ridiculous. But yeah, I was not well at all. I was trying everything to make sure I could do at least one stream that weekend, but my God. And then Sunday I lost my voice completely, which I can say my other half was delighted about, by the way. There you go. If I was Oscar, I'd ditch McLaren if they did something like that, says Kevin. I'm pretty sure he'd be in on it. He'd be aware of what was going on, but yeah. They've got to get both stops perfect tomorrow. I think the Antonelli reaction was bad. If either of those ones gets a slow stop, it'll erupt 10 times worse. It shouldn't even be a thought, but just as broadly the internet. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, the Antonelli stuff was, well, expected but pathetic. I mean, look, I'm not getting into it too much, but if you're somebody, and I'm pretty sure nobody in this chat will have done, but if you're somebody whose reaction to Gianpiero Lambiassi's flippant comment, or what Marco said, or what happened with Antonelli was to go and abuse him, you're not a Formula One fan. You never have been, you never will be. We don't want you here. Piss off, is my response to that. Sorry, but I'm just not, I don't understand it. That mentality. I mean, like I said earlier, the minute if you sit there and go, oh, wow, he deliberately let him through. Okay, cool. Let's pick that apart. Why? There is zero reason for Antonelli to do it. So it's a stupid conspiracy theory anyway. And I will say very quickly, I agree that, people need to be careful what they say on the team radio, that, pundits and co need to be careful what they say. F1 needs to be careful of what they broadcast. But I'm sorry, maybe it's an old school attitude, I don't know, but the only person responsible for what you choose to post on the internet is you. So regardless of what GP said or Marco said, if your reaction to that is to go and abuse a driver, you're the problem. That's not a defence. And I'm just getting a little bit bored of living in a world where nobody takes responsibility for their own actions. If your response is to abuse a driver, that's on you. That's not GP's fault. It's not Marco's fault. It's not F1's fault or motorsport's fault or the race's fault or Planet F1's fault. It's your fault. You've made that decision. You're the arsehole. So this is your dad. Here comes a dad comment. Here we go. Are you ready? Right. If Helmut Marko told you to go jump off a cliff, would you do it? Of course you wouldn't. So just grow up, or don't watch the sport. Go and do something else. Go and, I don't know. Just, yeah. You're not F1 fans, and I'm not having it. It's as simple as that. And I'm not going to allow people to be like, well, Red Bull should know better. Well, yeah, be careful what you say, but also they're not responsible for the morons, are they? So there you go. No worries, John T. Talk to you soon, mate. Says, I already said it, sorry, yesterday, nutcase said award being, yeah, we talked about the award conspiracy there, which was stupid. Yeah, what GP said was, I thought, when he said it, I laughed because I thought GP was joking, and that's the tone I got from it. I didn't go, whoa, this got to abuse Antonelli now. That's because I've got a brain now. What Marco said was Marco being, because exactly, if Marco says something, 99% of the time, just ignore it because he's been a knobhead. He's just tried to cause trouble. Just ignore him. But this is one of the many reasons why, and maybe it's not fair to punish everybody else because of the actions of a few, but this is why I don't think broadcasting team radio is sensible. I don't think there's any need for it. And the moment that it caused problems after Abu Dhabi 2021, the FIA to pit wall communications stopped being broadcast. In fact, they stopped altogether pretty much. But they stopped being broadcast. Why don't we just do that with... Unless, broadcast the team radio if it's Norris going, I think we need to pit for these tyres are gone or whatever. But if it's an engineer making a flippant comment to his driver in a relationship that they have between them, then just don't broadcast it. But again, it's not, F1 shouldn't have to think like that. People should just be able to control themselves. But we live in a world where it's always somebody else's fault. Well, I sent that message because Marco said, oh, grow up. We have, and I appreciate, I'm a big lad, so I appreciate I might be a hypocrite in this one, but we don't have junk food adverts in the UK before a certain time because of childhood obesity. Well, who's buying that kid the McDonald's? It isn't the kid, is it? So how about you take responsibility for your children, or you take responsibility for your own actions? It's the world we live in. It's always somebody else's fault. No, you're the problem. So yes, be careful what you say if you're an engineer. Yes, be careful what you say if you're a driver or a pundit or a part of the media, but that doesn't excuse somebody else's behaviour. So also, one final thing, then I'm going to stop because, you know what I'm like, I'll get ranty and raving. Also, how can you abuse a 19-year-old? I don't care about his age. It's irrelevant. You just don't do it to anybody. Whether you're 19 or 90, it's irrelevant. So I can't rant. I'd love to go off on one, but I can't because I'd just be coughing forever. But I can't get on board with, yeah, but they did say that, so they shouldn't have broadcast it, or they shouldn't have said it. Well, no, they shouldn't have sent the messages. That's it. Grow up. Go watch something else. We don't want you. End of. Marco equals the right wing. Exactly. He is your right wing uncle at Christmas. Oh, dreading Christmas this year. Yeah, anyway. McLaren aren't sabotaging, but they definitely have their favourites. There's 2 left feet. Kevin says exactly, everyone wants to blame everybody else. Pete says, I live in the Netherlands and yesterday was the big Sinterklaas Day. Is that like Santa Claus Day? Sinterklaas, yeah, or class, Sinterklaas, maybe Santa Claus, yeah. I think Christmas is Santa, and the actor playing the main helper got a bunch of death threats. Also, how the fuck? How do you do that? Death threats to Santa? What? What? You can't main helper. You got death threats to an elf. My God. Oh, Will Ferrell will be turning in his grave if he was dead. That's terrible. Oh, you can't abuse an elf. The season of goodwill. Those days are gone. And that, Sean, is why I love your channel. Thank you, Alfie. I'll say what I think. And if it upsets people, then that wasn't my intention. But I'm not going to hide my opinion because 6 people might be like, but I like abusing people. Oh, go away. The junk food advert law is news to me as an American, says Neelish. Yeah, no junk food. I think I have it in my head that it's 6 p.m. But they can't be broadcast during kids shows. I know that. We also have a sugar tax on like full fat Coke because of parents buying their kids Coke and then complaining they got fat, because that's everyone else's fault. Yeah, it's just weird. It's just weird to me. Anyway, we'll put the world to rights in a random Wednesday stream at some point. You can ask me questions politically, and I'll tear them all apart. Also, Eurovision can suck a fat one. All I want tomorrow is points for Sauber, and I hope that the championship battle will go down fair and square, says Pascal. Yeah, I just want a good battle, to be honest, Pascal. I want there to be... I've got a thing set up. I'm literally just screen grabbing sort of the as it stands in the championship. But I've got to set up. I want to see that movie. I want to see Piastri top at one point. I want to see Verstappen top at one point. And then where we land at the end of it, we land. That's how I want it to be. I don't want just the top three stays as it is and nothing changes. And I want to see twists. I want to see turns. Even if the top three is still Norris, Verstappen, Piastri come the end in the championship, I want to see that move around. I want it to be interesting tomorrow. I don't want a really boring... It's a crap track to be out for the finale, but I don't want a boring finale. So I'm hoping Russell, maybe Leclerc is on screen now, bless him, looking not unhappy. I'm not going to say happy, but not looking unhappy. So that's happy. But yeah, just keep it interesting. But I'd love it for you if we could get Sauber in the points and get them ahead of Haas. But we'll see, Pascal. Think of how dumb the average person is. Half the world is dumber than that, says P. Also says I'm fine with anyone winning, but I'd love for Max to win because that will have been the greatest comeback, even if McLaren threw it away. Obviously, Max is my driver, Ferrari is my team, so I want to see both those do well. One of those is not doing well, so let's not talk about that. In fact, Ferrari don't exist until January for me now. They can do one. But yeah, I'd love to see Verstappen do it. But again, I've met Norris a lot. He's a really lovely lad. Would be great to see him win it. It'd be amazing to see Piastri do it as well. First Aussie World Champion since 1980. And actually, this surprised me. Quick stat. If you didn't catch the preview on Thursday, we've only ever had two Aussie World Champions, two different Aussie World Champions. So he'd only be the third. I know we've only had one Dutchman, but, you know, it felt like we should have more. Australia is such a huge part of Formula One. Massive F1 fan base, you know. Lots of F1 drivers have been Australian. We go to the Australian Grand Prix. We've had a couple of venues for that, you know. It's such a big part of the sport. It just surprised me we only had two. So seeing Oscar do that would be amazing. So it's weird. If Max wins this championship, I'll be over the moon. But if he loses it, I'm not really too fussed because he was never in it until, 5 or 6 races ago. So, yeah. Was Bruce McLaren a Kiwi? Was Bruce McLaren a Kiwi? Yes, he was, wasn't he? Bruce McLaren was from New Zealand, yeah. Germany also only has 2 different world champions, says Red Raven. See, that doesn't surprise me because of who those two are. If that, like Germany, I knew wasn't a big number, but I felt like Australia was maybe around 5. So to see 2 and Piastri the 3 was a surprise. But then when you sit down and break it down, it is only 2. We know that, but you know. Yeah, exactly. It's fun how statistics play tricks with you. But Norris would be the 11th different British world champion. Get used to hearing that if he wins it tomorrow. Also, if you don't like British media bias, don't engage with F1 again until January. Just stay away for December. It's going to be terrible. When I'm frustrated, I just wait for Sean to say Audi and then chat going, who? Aldi, says Valentine. Yeah. Oh dear. Brabham was Aussie, and Alan Jones were the Aussie. Were they the 2 Aussie world champions, weren't they? See, Germany's. Connell says the fact Germany only has Schumacher and Vettel is weird, but yeah, Australia only being 2 is weird. But at the same time, think about German F1 drivers. You've got Hulkenberg there. But you think about Timo Glock, Pascal Wehrlein, I think more recent ones. It's not like we've had a bunch of incredible German drivers come through that have missed out on a title when you look back through history. So that's why it's less surprising. But I think about Daniel Ricciardo. I knew he wasn't a world champion, but you look at Daniel Ricciardo, Mark Webber, drivers who were very, very good, who never won a title. You'd then think that maybe before then there'd be more Aussie world champions, but it's just strange. It's like Red Raven says, it's funny how statistics can play tricks with you like that. So, but then it's always surprised me there's 11 British world champions. which you think I'd be really beaming with pride at as a Brit, but you know me. I've always had more of an affinity with Germany, which my grandparents loved, by the way. I was really popular with them when that used to crop up. My whole family is British F1 fan, F1 Brits, and they'll only watch if a Brit's winning sort of thing. So I used to get a lot of stick as a Schumacher fan, bloody Germans. That's all I used to get. But yeah. I had the last. I'm just sat there like, yeah. They're all David Coulthard fans, and they're like, oh, can't believe you support Michael Schumacher. Like, yeah. Anyway, have you seen our latest World Championship? What's David Coulthard got? Oh yeah, crashed in the pit lane. Maybe a good idea for some winter videos is a state of play of each team heading to 2026, some general news, team makeup in terms of personnel, and thoughts on any upcoming 2020's performance. Yeah, there'll be lots of stuff looking ahead, Aaron, to 2026 in January. Like I say, December, quite quiet. There'll be a couple of bits that I want to put out, but really it's just going to be a case of I'm going to have a break for Christmas and New Year, and then there'll be the Christmas stream as well if Jonty's feeling a bit better and ready for that at some point, and we'll do those little bits. But the channel launches properly in January, so we'll get on with that one definitely. Let's do some predictions quickly then. Top three. Let's do top three for tomorrow. I was going to say, tell me who you think will win the championship, but if you do your top three, I'll be able to work that out, won't I? So if you do your top three, who are they going to be? 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to go, do you know what? You're going to hate me. It's boring. I will say that's what we'll get. Verstappen, Norris, Piastri. And that's not me copping out. I have zero faith in this track. Unless McLaren cover off the wrong drive with Lando Norris, like Ferrari did in 2010, and unless Vitaly Petrov turns up, I don't see this changing too much at the front. So no worries, Connor, mate. Thank you very much for your super chat as well. We'll talk to you soon. Hope we see you tomorrow. Thank you for your company. That's what I was going to say. But yeah, that's my top three: Verstappen, Norris, Piastri. I'm hoping Verstappen, Piastri, Russell, Leclerc with 2 laps to go, because then Piastri can't do anything to change it. But yeah, I think that's what it'll be, I'm afraid. Sorry. Red Raven says, I agree with you. Abu Dhabi has improved, but not nearly enough. So yeah, Verstappen, Norris, Piastri is what we'll get. The trouble is, Red Raven, I will read everyone's predictions in a minute, sorry, but I will just say the problem is they re-profiled a few bits. So turn 5 works. I'm happy with that. Better exit. Good run down that straight. The trouble is, by putting turn 9 in there as they have now, you've removed what was a risky but still an overtaking opportunity, which means that second DRS zone is pointless. Effectively, it's not totally pointless, but before, when you had the chicane at turn 9, as it is now, you could overtake into turn 6. Then that overtaken driver gets a chance to fight straight back, and then you could see side-by-sides into that chicane. That chicane was a bit clumsy, but it caused problems, and it gave us an overtaking opportunity. Now, there is one overtaking opportunity, really, and that's turn 6, unless you leave the door wide open at turn 5, and then maybe someone could sneak up the inside. But Max Verstappen did that in 2021, took the win. But then you saw, was it Schumacher and... was it Latifi or somebody else in there? Door was left wide open and the door immediately closed, and that was contact. So, yeah, I think turn 5's fine, but I think they should have left turn 9 as it was. But there you go. So Sam Mariners fan says, Max, I'll come to you full prediction in a minute, but Michael says Verstappen, Piastri, Norris. So Michael's going Norris for the title there. Pete says Verstappen, Piastri, Norris is my guess. Again, Norris with the title. Valentine says percentage chance of McLaren screwing it up. 50-50, mate. 50-50, you know what they're like. Piastri make a big move out of necessity, and Norris will let him pass because he knows P3 is also fine. That's a good point. Piastri could take that gamble knowing that Norris is going to jump straight out of the way, can't he? So yeah. Max Russell Leclerc is Sad Mariners fan. Or Alonso makes another Alonso train that blocks the McLaren. So that's Max world champion for Sad Mariners fan. Cool. Neelish says Verstappen, Piastri, Norris. So Norris champion. Jonty says Alonso, look at me, I'm the Petrov now. Why not? Red Raven says Michael Massey's not involved, so should be straightforward. Should be straightforward. I like that. Not completely committing, just should. Pascal Verstappen, Piastri, Norris, and Bortoleto in the points. So that is Norris for the title there. In German, we call it. Whoa, you've given me a word there, Red Raven. Verschlimmbessern, making it worse by improving it. There was an episode of QI once where they were not mocking. No, it wasn't. It was Mock the Week. They weren't taking a piss out of Germans per se, but they're talking about how in Germany they have a word for everything, and it actually led to quite a lot of funny stuff. Because it was when that guy got admitted to hospital in the UK with a World War II mortar up his bum because he slipped and fell, and they were like, "Oh yeah, in Germany we have a word for that," and it was actually quite funny. But yeah, Germans do have a word for everything. I love that country, I really do. Will McLaren double stack if there is an early safety car? Says 2 left feet. Probably not. They wouldn't do it in Qatar when they should have done, so they're not going to do it here. I wouldn't have thought, but yeah. Maybe they've learned their lesson. I don't know. Max is going to back everyone up and ruin McLaren starts this strategy, says Valentine. That's the other thing. If he backs them up, they fall into traffic. But if Verstappen backs them up, he's going to fall into traffic. So, yeah. Tricky balancing out there, isn't there? Let's try and get that right. I predict the main 3 as LOL, says John T. I'm not even going to predict anymore, says Sam. Norris just needs to stroke it home, says the Hat Prust. And Red Raven says German is actually easy to explain. What in English would be full sentence? We stuff into one word. Not joking here. That's fine. It's the easier way around it. It's just the easier way around it. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up there. I don't know if the Hat Prust was supposed to make that rude, but that's where my brain's gone. So I suspect knowing the Hat Prust, it probably was. So do you think McLaren have gone conservative on plant wear this weekend, says Neelish? I don't think so. I don't think they need to. They got it wrong, didn't they, in Vegas? But again, a lot of data for this weekend's race with the track being well known and that, so less of an issue. But yeah, but we are gonna. I think we'll leave it there because I'm losing. No, damn it! It's a term of art. There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up there before I lose my voice completely. So I'm gonna be back tomorrow at. Is it 12:30? Race at 1, is it? It's a 12:30 p.m. GMT, that's UK time, for the race watch along. And don't forget, we will be live about an hour after the race with Stuart, aka Chamber, for the first race reaction since last year's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And hopefully, if enough people watch it and enough of you engage with it and you're happy with it returning, hopefully the first of many, many more. One final thing to say. As it has been a topic of conversation in this stream already, getting rid of race reactions was incredibly stupid. Anyway, so we're back, like I say, 12:30 tomorrow for the race watch on, then the race reaction after that, and then of course there'll be content, a couple of bits through December, and then lots through January, February, and of course then it's the season. It'll soon be here. It won't take long. It'll all be gone soon. Please do leave a like before you go if you haven't already, and of course subscribe if you are new. Lots of content to come. In the long term on the channel for sure. You can follow me on Blue Sky. I forgot what the handle is. @me. I don't know. I'm over there somewhere. You'll find me. I've been gobbing off today, so I'll be over there somewhere. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Don't forget to subscribe, like, all of that business. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Formula Sean, and until next time, goodbye.